evening. We knew the risks going in.
Argava says his company has no plans to stop until the 2:30 feeling is completely wiped off the map, at which point they will turn their attention to that 3:30 feeling, 4:30 feeling, and people with a case of the Mondays.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, the live Sunday edition of the program. You are invited to join us here on the radio. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
The nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
And Richie Rich.
All right, so we are going to be talking about what happened to you this weekend. Nobody, that is on the way tonight. You were deplatformed from a major social media website. We will talk about what happened and when and get into the details about that. But there's also some pretty major news coming out of various different parts of the world this weekend. Hong Kong, Barcelona, and now apparently even Lebanon, where people are protesting in massive numbers. We're talking about hundreds of thousands, according to various different news sources. AFP reporting out of Barcelona that violence has escalated after 500,000 people have rallied there in favor of...
hopefully freedom.
Secession.
Oh, there you go.
Not necessarily freedom.
Okay.
Not necessarily freedom. They want to secede and do stupid things, but
Right.
they have a right to secede and do stupid things instead of doing the stupid things that Spain wants to do.
Right. If they want to do more,
step one.
Right. If they want to do more stupid things locally and have their own independent control over their stupid things, then
Yes.
I support them on that. And that's what's been going on there in Barcelona for at least some number of years, where there's been a fairly active and relatively successful secessionist movement. AFP reporting that violent clashes escalated in Barcelona late on Friday as radical Catalan separatists hurled rocks and fireworks at police, who responded with tear gas and rubber bullets, turning the city center into a chaotic battleground. The deterioration came on the fifth consecutive day of protests in the Catalan capital and elsewhere over a Spanish court's jailing of 9 separatist leaders on sedition charges over a failed independence bid 2 years ago. Has it already been 2 years since that happened?
I guess so.
It feels like it was only a year ago, but in case you don't recall, there was some pretty serious conflict in the Catalan region of Spain, because the Catalonians, who kind of have their own language and they're just a different group of people, they want to have more autonomy over their own physical geographic area in which they live. And they have had enough support, like significant support, again, 500,000 people rallying over this weekend, that obviously the state's got to pay attention. It's one thing where those of us who support secession in New Hampshire, less than a dozen go out to the road and, do some sign wavings or whatever, or speak at the State House. We can be relatively ignored by the state because we're not really worth talking about. There's not really a big impact. But if you get 500,000 people into the streets anywhere, people are going to start talking about that.
It's nice to see it happen elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because then you know that at least some of the ideals are spreading globally.
Yes.
And that makes me a little bit more optimistic for a future with, if not absolute freedom, but more, micro states or smaller communities.
Well, if only we could get people motivated to, be in favor of secession for freedom.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to motivate people. And I think, nobody, you've talked about this before, people aren't hungry in the United States. They're not particularly uncomfortable with their lives. They may not like Donald Trump. They may not like Hillary Clinton. But for the most part, life's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I give him Saunders for 4 years, and I don't know if that'll be soon enough for starvation to set in, but will certainly be a lot less threadbare, or a lot more threadbare after that. Maybe that'll wake people up.
Nope, because in that 4 years, 8K TVs are going to come out. The new PlayStation 5 is going to come out. The
Keep
more
them distracted.
People are distracted.
So the deterioration again came after they jailed 9 separatist leaders after the protests from 2 years ago, where they wanted to put it to a vote. And if you recall, we talked about it in detail here on Free Talk Live. Basically, the Spain government came down like a big-time hammer on these people. They literally blocked off the polling locations. Yeah. They sent police with full body armor to these polling locations. There was video of a woman just being bodily thrown by the police down the stairs, cops drop kicking people. I mean, it was just the most insane, some of the most insane stuff, all to stop them from voting.
The Spanish pigs are evil.
Yeah. They brought in, they actually commandeered cruise ships from some company. I forget what it was, but a major cruise line company, because Barcelona's got like a port and there's a lot of cruise ships there. Well, they commandeered a cruise ship to use as quarters for state police coming in from all across Spain. So, they wanted to crack down on these people. They had to have a place to put the cops. Yeah. Well, they didn't have enough hotel space, so they literally took over an entire cruise ship. Maybe it was 2, but at least 1 cruise ship. And it got to the point where the Warner Brothers, the company, that made Looney Tunes, Looney Tunes was a licensed set of characters for this particular cruise line. Warner Brothers said, whoa, we don't want to be associated with what the Spanish government is doing, and so they required them to go and unfurl these long black banners from the top of the main deck of the ship over the sides of the ship to cover up the Looney Tunes characters that were on the sides of the cruise ships, right? Because presumably they got people walking around on the cruise ships with Daffy Duck outfits on, things like that.
Costumes.
Right, costumes. But they also had them on the ship itself. And so Warner Brothers demanded that they have their characters covered up because they didn't want to, corporate-wise, be associated with the police state crackdown.
Wow.
That's how crazy it all was.
See, this also begs the question, what more do you need to see? What more does the state, the government of whatever geographic region you're in have to do to make itself look evil enough where you're not going to tolerate that anymore? Right? You got 500,000 people protesting. You got the crackdown coming. Obviously, the crackdown is because there's enough support for secession that they have to stifle it.
They're scared.
They're scared.
Yep.
You're right. The politicians, the government, the state enforcers are scared. But what more do you need to see to go maybe we shouldn't be supporting that type of government at
right.
all?
And what more do you need to see to stop supporting them? Not just think about it, but actually say, okay, well, even if they're not going to honor our request, right? Because that's all a vote is just people saying, we want you to do this.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Even if they're not going to honor the request, the people of Catalonia could just simply say, well, we're just not going to send you any money anymore. What are you going to do then? You're going to put everyone in jail? Because you can't do that.
Yep.
There's not enough room for, that's why they target the leaders. They want to go after the people, just like they did with the 420s here in Keene. Nobody, back when you were Rich Paul and you were hosting the 420s a decade ago, they targeted you. Right. And they targeted Evan because they perceived the two of you as being the leaders of the event. Same thing here. They think they can target the top 9 people, put them up in front of a kangaroo court, and that they're going to settle things down.
Yep. You cut off the head. Right, and everyone else goes. That's the fear, right? You take out the leaders, and then everyone else goes, "Whoa, maybe this
is scary."
And that's the big thing. You have to remember they're a terrorist organization. They operate. Yeah. Yes, they operate on terror. If the government can't keep you terrified, it can't control you.
Correct. And if you doubt what nobody's saying here, go look up the definition of terror or terrorism. It is word for word exactly what governments do. They use violence or the threat of it to achieve political goals.
Absolutely.
That's what terrorism is.
Yeah.
But they do it legitimately.
Well, right,
so
because people believe in them. Yeah. But if people stop believing, then you start seeing things like, according to the story here at the AFP, this weekend, around 500,000 people rallied in Barcelona on Friday, according to police, in the biggest gathering since Monday's court ruling, as separatists also called a general strike in the major tourist destination. But while most marchers appeared peaceful, hordes of young protesters went on the rampage near the police headquarters, igniting a huge blaze that sent plumes of black smoke into the air as police fired tear gas to disperse them. Now, I'm actually really glad to hear that. for once, these protesters actually seem to be targeting the right places,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Instead of blowing up Starbucks or McDonald's or something like that, they're actually going to police headquarters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take out the government buildings.
There's more coming up here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. More about the secessionist movement that is still aflame in Catalonia, in the Catalan region of Spain. 855-450-FREE if you want to join us here. Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Do you have a qualified plan, an IRA, 401k, or some other type of investment account? Would you like to learn how the ultra-wealthy take their retirement accounts and make them legally 100% tax-free? Have your money liquid and invest in literally anything you want to, completely tax-free with the blessing of the IRS. And no, it's not a Roth. Join us at dna.freetalklive.com for more details and your exclusive invitation to the free webinar on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Register now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. GoDark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
NASA announced the discovery of a mile-wide asteroid this week that could potentially trigger a global level of extinction, forcing upscale fashion retailer Nordstrom out of business. Researchers confirm that the celestial object is traveling at speeds exceeding 29,000 miles per hour, threatening to slam into the planet with more than 1 million megatons of force, enough to jeopardize operations at all 117 full-line Nordstrom locations.
Unless we can find some way to divert or intercept the asteroid, all 7 billion people on Earth, including all 62,500 Nordstrom employees, may die. Even if the asteroid breaks into smaller pieces upon entry into the atmosphere, a death toll as low as several hundred million could still slow foot traffic in stores and reduce online orders from Nordstrom's subsidiary Hot Look.
Humanity is surprised it still hasn't figured out an alternative to letting power-hungry assholes decide everything, and a magical office worker is able to turn everything he touches into more work for his colleagues.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, you dial in toll free here. Bring up whatever you want. It's a live Sunday edition. We're talking about some major unrest in various parts of the world. Hong Kong, the protests there continuing. Barcelona. We hadn't heard much news out of Barcelona, but that doesn't mean things haven't been happening. We're far away from that, but it's definitely been making headlines this weekend with over 500,000 people in the streets protesting in favor of secession.
Had to have been brewing before that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
for years.
Yeah, they've been prosecuting people there for the protests and the vote where they tried to secede a couple of years ago. So it's Ian, Nobody, and Richie in the studio here tonight. I do want to tell you about Fortune DNA. If you'd like to learn how the ultra wealthy take their retirement accounts and make them legally 100% tax-free, have your money liquid, and invest in literally anything you want to, completely tax-free with the blessing of the IRS, and no, it's not a Roth, you can visit dna.freetalklive.com for your invitation to the free webinar, which is happening this Tuesday, so a couple days from now, October 22nd at 8 p.m. Fortune DNA says you can invest in anything you want to, 100% tax-free for you and your heirs, and use your money before you're 59 and a half without ever losing your principal. You can avoid the volatility of the market, put certainty back into your investing future, and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. They are an asset protection and tax strategy firm. You can join the ultra wealthy by using a 160-year-old investing program that's no longer exclusive. Visit dna.freetalklive.com for more details and your invitation to the free webinar happening Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, October 22nd. Again, that's dna.freetalklive.com. So, reporting from the AFP, where most of their 500,000 marchers were peaceful, there were still hordes, as described here, of young protesters who went on the rampage near Barcelona's police headquarters, igniting a huge blaze that sent plumes of black smoke into the air as police fired tear gas to disperse them. Other fires raged near Plaza de Catalunya, on top of a tourist hotspot, Los Ramblas, where hundreds of demonstrators rallied in defiance of police who tried to disperse them with a water cannon. They roared, quote, "Anti-fascist Catalonia, the streets will always be ours." So it sounds like anti-fascist. Maybe they're related to the group here in the United States. Scores of police vans could be seen fanning out around the streets, their sirens screaming as regional police warned people in a message in English on Twitter to, quote, not approach, unquote, the city center. The situation later appeared calmer. Earlier, thousands of freedom marchers who had set out to walk from regional towns on Wednesday arrived in Barcelona wearing walking boots and carrying hiking poles. The rally coincided with the general strike, prompting the cancellation of 57 flights, the closure of shops, businesses, and several top tourist attractions, and slowing public transportation to a trickle in the region that accounts for about a fifth of Spain's economic output. So that's one of the things about Catalonia is it's a fairly wealthy area of Spain, which is one of the main reasons why the Spanish government doesn't want to see them go, because they get a bunch of their tax revenue from this area. And so the Catalonian people, who are socialists, they want to have socialism. They just want to keep their money in the Catalonian region rather than sending it out to the other regions.
And I'm already on record as saying, like, the only form of legitimate protest is a tax protest. Right? You can march in the streets, you can destroy all the buildings you want, but if you're still giving them funding, if you're still
you lose.
You lose. Because they will form their defense with the money that you send them.
The bullets in those guns by the police, you paid for.
You paid for. So rather than send it to them, right, like strengthen your defenses, if it's Catalonian surrounding the city or whatever, strengthen your defenses, use that funding to further your cause rather than using it to further your demise in some form or fashion.
Yeah,
Like,
and unfortunately, they've chosen to go on a general strike, which is basically going to harm the businesses of the region.
Yeah, the local businesses.
Of their own region.
Yeah.
They're striking in their own place that they want to see succeed. They're harming their neighbors inadvertently, although I'm sure many of the neighbors are involved in the strike and probably support it just from a symbolic standpoint. A more effective strike would be to strike by refusing to pay the state, having business owners refuse to send whatever taxes to Madrid, having the individual refuse to send their taxes to Madrid, and then see what they're going to do about it.
Yeah. Well, they're going to do it by coming back in force with arms, but at least you know that's coming, and at least you can fortify a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just come in and take your property.
Sure, but I mean, what is that even going to mean?
Take your house and sell it.
But what does that even mean when you're talking about 500,000 people? Look, it's one thing if there's one tax protester in Keene, New Hampshire that stands on principle and refuses to pay taxes. Well, the city of Keene is going to come in and they're going to take their property like you're talking about.
Right.
But if you've got 500,000 people in a geographic area who are refusing to pay whatever tax we're talking about here, I mean, what are you going to do with those people when you throw them out of their homes?
They're well beyond
leave them homeless. What did the banks do when they threw millions of Americans out of their homes? They left them in the street to die.
Well, it's going to look pretty bad.
Well, it does look bad, but
this is more of a concentrated location as well.
Yeah,
right?
it is a concentrated location, and it makes it it makes it somewhat more difficult for them. And I would love to see it tried. I don't think they're going to be able to get rid of that government unless they get guns and start shooting pigs in their faces. Because really, don't go to Spain to do it. Stay right where you are. Go to your protest. Bring a gun. When the police come to club you, you shoot them.
So you're saying do it in self-defense. You're not saying go out
Exactly. I'm saying wait for them to come to you and then defend yourself. But defend yourself by making cops die. That's the only way to do it. You have to make the people who are coming to hurt you
think
hurt
twice
instead.
Yeah. That's a much stronger way of saying fortify your defense.
The toll-free number here tonight, if you want to join us, share your thoughts, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I tend to agree with you, nobody, only so far as if you have the numbers to do something like that.
Well, and they do 500,000.
Right.
That's some good numbers in your favor.
Yeah.
If you can rally them to that type of action.
Generally, I don't think violence is the answer. I don't think that is going to bring about a peaceful society, because then you essentially are using sort of the tools of the state. But if you're saying only do it in self-defense, that's a much more reasonable sounding position. Although I also think that if you have 500,000 people, you can be nonviolent and also be successful, because
you might want to look at the videos of what happened to the Catalonians who were being non-voting and nonviolent and trying to vote.
Well, the voting isn't going to solve it.
Crap kicked out of them.
Yeah, well,
no, but they were physically beaten. They were thrown down staircases.
Right. So forget about voting. Forget about voting. That's because
withhold your taxes.
Yeah, withhold
go
paying
to your protest, and when they come for you,
and further, take your whatever. What do they got in Spain? What's the kind of money they have? What's the fiat there?
I have no idea.
Offhand, I don't know either. Probably the euro, but anyway, whatever. Take your euros or whatever the Spanish money is, turn them into cryptocurrency. That way they can't raid your bank account too.
That's definitely a good plan.
855-450-FREE, and that way, if they do come to steal your home from you, at least you still have your cryptocurrency. 855-450-3733, plus updates on what's going on in Hong Kong and more. It's Free Talk Live.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click masternodes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love,
and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up anything you want here. The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. You can join them and get on the air with us over at discord.lrn.fm. But actually, I just noticed that the Discord was closed on this computer, but now it's back open. All right, so anyway, you can call up, comment on Catalonian secession, where the movement continues with a large number of people, 500,000 according to some mainstream media estimates, in the streets on Friday. Police cracking down as hard as they can, of course, because, well, they don't want the protesters to seem legitimate. And of course, the more they crack down, the more legitimate the protesters become.
And they don't want them to succeed either.
Mm-hmm.
To succeed at seceding, you mean?
Succeed at seceding.
Yes.
Well, if at first you don't secede, try again.
Yeah, why not? So that's happening. We'll tell you more about that. Of course, you can bring up anything you want. Plus, on the way, nobody has been permanently banned from a major social media platform. We'll tell you which one and what happened on the way here tonight.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep, it's Ian, Nobody, and Richie here in the studio. Plus, I do want to make sure you know about Liberty.menu. If you're an individual who rejects the initiation of force and you agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, you qualify to use Liberty.menu. It's a tool for the Liberty community to allow you to promote the things that you do. Maybe you've got a business. Maybe you got more than one business. Maybe you promote an event that you are a fan of, or you're an organizer of said event. Or perhaps you have digital content you're the creator of. Maybe you've got an audio or video channel or something like that. You want other libertarians, voluntarists, anarchists to know about it. Get it over on liberty.menu. It's a free website, so there's really no reason not to use it unless, of course, you don't want free publicity. Go to liberty.menu, and you can use code FTL to get a Free Talk Live listener badge for your profile there. So talking about a group of protesters within a much larger group, because it's always the violent ones that get most of the attention, not just from the police, but also from the media. They do talk about the freedom marchers, who were peaceful marchers who had walked from 5 regional towns into Barcelona while wearing walking boots and carrying hiking poles. At the same time, there is a general strike going on, so people are walking out of work or not going to work to protest Spanish rule of Catalonia. Activists also cut off their main cross-border highway with France. According to the story, in downtown Barcelona, many shops and luxury outlets were closed on the city's Paseo de Gracia with blackened, charred patches, a testimony to the nightly clashes that have raged since Monday. So this was going on all week long.
Is there something symbolic about the hiking boots and hiking poles?
Probably, but I don't know what that is.
What it is.
With these demonstrations bringing the large city to a halt, we're using Barcelona like a microphone, said 23-year-old engineering student Ramon Pararada. It's all in reaction to the injustice, he said. A retired lawyer agreed, saying the court sentence was, quote, the straw that broke the camel's back. So basically, again, this very similar to some of the things that we've been involved with here, Nobody, where if the police in Keene, when they cracked down on the 420s that were happening here, the rallies that were going on a daily basis, if they hadn't cracked down, they wouldn't have looked as bad, and they never would have had the response that happened to their crackdown. So when they arrested you and another one of the co-organizers, eventually the protesters went to police headquarters and smoked pot. They were arresting you for smoking pot publicly, for those that aren't aware. But then they smoked up inside the police headquarters.
I saw the video of that.
It really happened.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
Yeah, and it never would have happened without the arrest. The funny thing was, in my view...
But you can't just let you potheads smoke out in the square, unabated, because that makes them look ineffective. It makes the law look ineffective.
Well, they look bad either way. That's the key.
That's part of civil
they do look
disobedience in
bad
general.
either way. And from a strategic point of view, the purpose of civil disobedience is to trigger an overreaction by the government that will discredit the government with the people. An example of that is what happened at Lexington and Concord, as well as the Boston Massacre. And these were all in revolutionary times when the British government got triggered and started killing people, because that's what governments do when they're triggered.
They don't know anything else.
And the people were so angry that they actually fought back and made British police die.
So same thing here in this case. In Barcelona, the police cracking down, the prosecution of the leaders of the movement, one lawyer says, was the straw that broke the camel's back. So them using more of the state's violence to harm these peaceful people is backfiring for them.
Well, and here's the thing, right? Rich talked a lot, or Nobody talked a lot about violence against state agents, which I'm not against. But when you say
self-defense against state agents, let's say
defensive violence, whatever. But you say that the state, state agents, the government, the thugs, they don't know anything else. So whether
that's the tool they have, it's the violence.
You're right. So whether or not you protest peacefully, whether or not you protest violently, whether regardless of your response to them, they're always going to respond with violence to you. So
almost always, unless they decide not to respond at all.
That's the only two options, though. It's no response or responding back with violence. So I've always been, if that's going to be the response, right? Why? And you know that, right? Either be prepared for the violence or don't be surprised when it happens.
Don't be surprised. Yeah.
And prepare yourself to, like you said, defend yourself against their violence. You don't have to. You don't have to take it to them per se. But if you know that that's what they're coming to do, why not be aware? Why not be ready for it and ready to act accordingly?
Yeah, I mean, the Spanish government has no more moral objection to murdering every man, woman, and child in Catalonia than the Nazis had to murdering every single Jew.
They don't have any moral.
Imagine if when they had come for the Jews who finally knew their life was over, their government was going to murder them, what if they had been armed and they had been able to take out 1 or 2 or 3 cops before they personally were dragged off to the death camp?
Of course, they didn't know their life. They didn't know their life was over at that point.
And
they didn't know about the death camps. They didn't know where they were going to go or what was going to happen.
We're at a position now where we know what government violence, or what kind of violence governments are capable of.
Well, I mean, you could have known back then too.
You could have known back then too.
Yeah.
What type of response did they think the government was going to have? If knowing now that all government responses are violent or nothing, right? What did they think was going to happen?
Maybe they thought they were going out to a fun summer camp or something. I don't know what they thought. But back to the story here. Madrid is putting Spanish unity above everything, according to the attorney, saying, or he was wearing a badge saying "No surrender." Nearby, a banner fluttered reading, quote, "There are not enough cages for this many birds," unquote.
Yes, not allowed to leave the Spanish Union.
The huge turnout came after yet another night of violent clashes in which Catalan Regional Interior Minister Miguel Bush said involved fewer incidents but more violent. And Barcelona City Council said the first 3 days of clashes had cost an estimated 1.5 million euros in damage, with mob violence damaging traffic lights, street signs, trees, and the city's bike share service. Some 128 people have been arrested since Monday, while 207 police officers had been injured before the violence escalated on Friday, according to an interior minister. Emergency services said about 500 people in the region suffered injuries since the beginning of the week. And all of this over political control, because these people who are in control just can't let go of it. They can't let these people walk away peacefully.
The Spanish government sees the people as slaves, like all governments say, and you're our
like
property. You can't run away. You can't fight back, and we can kill you if we want to.
True enough. The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Coming up, the latest from the massive protests going on in Hong Kong. Plus, also Lebanon has lots of people in the streets. We'll tell you what that's about coming up. Free Talk Live.
What if you could cut your heating bills this winter with your existing wood-burning fireplace and not spend thousands doing it? You can with Great Wall of Fire fireplace grates. Our U.S. patented made-in-America Wall of Fire grates increase fireplace efficiency, eliminate fireplace smoke problems, and come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. See our grates in action and get free shipping from walloffire.com or call 800-274-7364. Fireplace heat without fireplace smoke. walloffire.com.
If you owe money to the IRS, you need to hear this. The IRS is cracking down on those who owe back taxes. It starts with a devastating letter, and if you don't act immediately, you could find yourself having your wages garnished or have a lien placed on your property. But there's a solution. Tax 10,000 can help. Avoid enforced compliance, where these holds on your income and seizure of your home could become a nightmare that just won't end. Call 800-239-9957 now and speak to one of our experts. 800-239-9957 is the number to link you directly to a tax resolution specialist who will negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, all the forms will be handled for you. All you have to do is make the toll-free call. 800-239-9957. Find out if you qualify and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars, not to mention a lot of headaches. It could be the best call you've made today. That number again, 800-239-9957. The service does not provide tax settlement or legal services. We will refer you to a company that does provide such services. Often the IRS will not agree to any reduction in the amount owed. Not all taxpayers who owe more than $10,000 will qualify for a tax reduction program.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens. We support the amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Jeunesse products are designed by leading doctors in their field with natural ingredients and even stem cell technology. These products help your body perform and look better. Shop Jeunesse at gcnlife.com or call 1-844-443-6637. gcnlife.com or 844-443-6637.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. Our number for you is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got the Discord call-in line rooms, and you can call in there and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Tonight, it's Ian.
Nobody.
And Richie Rich.
Those Discord rooms are on our Discord server. You can get to that by going to discord.lrn.fm. You should have the Discord app if you want to call in. Plus, it's just nice to have the app. It makes it easier to chat with people. It's available for various platforms, phones, laptops, full desktop computers. Head over to, I think it's discordapp.com. Or you can just download from whatever app store that you prefer. And again, you can, once you get the app set up, you can just go on your web browser and type in discord.lrn.fm, press enter, and it should just jump you right into the server. It's very, very cool. And it works pretty well. By the way, I want to say thanks to Craig the Free Stater. Craig the Free Stater is a Free Talk Live silver amplifier. And that means that Craig is contributing $5 per month to what we do here at Free Talk Live. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is that you can help us get on more radio stations. We've got over 200 stations that carry the show at various times throughout the week. Right now, we could have more, though. And it takes marketing, it takes promotional effort. And that's what the AMP program is designed to do. Plus, you get some perks and some benefits as being a Free Talk Live amplifier. One of those being access to special rooms on our Discord servers. That's just for supporters like you. So please join the app program. You can use Bitcoin. You can use credit cards. You can use PayPal to sign up over at amp.freetalklive.com, just like Craig the Free Stater. So thank you, Craig, and everybody else who amps the show. It's ampamp.freetalklive.com. Coming up, nobody is banned from a major social media platform. We'll tell you which one and how it happened over this weekend. And I mean permanently banned.
Yeah, it looks that way.
From that platform. We'll get into it coming up here, but we've been talking about some international news of interest. Whenever there's hundreds of thousands of people in the street somewhere, that's something worth talking about.
Absolutely.
You know, we don't know all the details about what's been going on over the last couple of years in Catalonia, but we do support, and I think I can speak for all of us here, we support secession, even though we may not agree with what they want to do with their secession. So in the case of Catalonia, they probably want to continue their socialist programs that they have. They just want to make it so the money that they're collecting and spending in those programs is focused solely in the Catalonian or the Catalan region of Spain instead of going all over the country.
And if there's a Catalonian that doesn't want to participate in that socialist program, they should be able to secede and opt out of that as well.
They should.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I support secession down to the individual level for anybody, no matter how foolish they are about what they want to do.
Exactly. So we're going to go to, of course, your calls and thoughts here. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. A little bit more here from the AFP on what's going on in Catalonia, or specifically Barcelona.
Americans for Prosperity?
No, I think it's Agence France Presse or something like that.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to make you say that.
Yeah, I'm not,
Put 'em right on the spot.
Not a French speaker.
It's true.
But anyway, Barcelona, the Sagrada Familia Basilica closed as protesters amassed outside, and an opera house there also canceled their Friday night performance. There's been a lot of striking that's been going on there, so who knows, they may not have even had enough of their actors to do the show. And at the city's famed La Boqueria market, most of the stalls were shut, although one woman was selling olives and pickles dressed entirely in yellow. She said, quote, "I came in voluntarily to work, but only as long as I could wear yellow to express my total disagreement with the sentence." Now, actually, we have not read what the sentence is. It did say that they were protesting the seditionist leaders on, or rather sedition charges of the 9 separatist leaders, but
I think it was
say
8 years or something like that, but we should probably Google that.
Yeah, if somebody wants to take a quick look for that, feel free. But another veteran stallholder took the opposite view. One old man, 75-year-old man, said, "I'm a real Catalan, but I don't support this independence project at all. People are letting themselves be used. Above all, the youth." Used by whom exactly? I mean, obviously there's the power seekers in Catalonia who want to have more control over their own particular area, but this is a popular movement. I don't think that the people of Catalonia have been fooled into supporting secession. I think they really do support secession for darn good reasons. That they're not a bunch of dupes.
Yeah, and not the least of those reasons is the violence done to them by Spain.
Right.
I mean, people seem to think that when a government does violence, it's okay. It's forgivable, and it's not forgivable. Civilian lives are not disposable. And I don't understand how civilians forget that.
Well, I would hope that after the Madrid police forces were physically attacking peaceful civilians for just simply going to try to vote a couple years ago, that the video footage of a cop drop-kicking a woman off of a stairwell was probably motivational to some people. Maybe there were some fence sitters who weren't so sure if the Spain government needed to be opposed. Well, if they saw footage like that, I bet you a bunch of them changed their minds about it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But like he said, how do you do it? It's because it's a master-slave relationship, right? So the government agents are your betters. Your lives are worth less than theirs. And if a citizen or slave steps out of line, the others will look into that person and say, well, he must have done something wrong to deserve that. And that's why he was punished accordingly.
Right.
Speaking of which, I found the number you're looking for, Ian.
The sentence of the
sentence,
leaders?
From the New York Times, the harshest sentence, Oriol Junqueras, 13 years in prison.
Oh, my God.
Wow. I was off by 1, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and that was one of the 9 people who were targeted. Final thought from Pep Guardiola, an outspoken campaigner for the independence movement. He says he wants the European Union to come in.
P-E-P-E?
Yeah. No, just Pep. Not Pepe, just Pep.
Oh,
P-E-P.
okay.
Quote, "The international community must help us to solve the conflict between Catalonia and Spain. Some mediator from the outside must help us sit down and talk." Unquote. Well, the Madrid people don't want to talk.
Right. Well, that's the other thing you have to do from the minority position, right? You have to look for recognition from an outside authority, right? If the UN recognizes Catalonia,
or even the European Union, why is the European Union sitting still while one of its nations brutalizes its citizens? And that doesn't just apply to Spain. I'd like to know why the UN is sitting still for what Turkey is doing as well, and why the heck is Turkey in NATO in the first place, or the EU?
Good questions, all of those. We go to your calls and thoughts. Tom is on the line in New Hampshire. Tom, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
A 93-year-old man in Germany is on trial for war crimes, and they say that the war crime was being a guard at one of the extermination camps back when he was 17 and 18, and so he's being prosecuted as a juvenile for being a 93-year-old man being prosecuted as a juvenile, which is also that by being a guard up in the tower, he wasn't killing anybody.
Can you get a life sentence sent to juvie?
I don't know. Probably not.
That's weird if he's 93.
He was in the guard tower, on a mission to stop people from escaping. And it's very important to remember that makes somebody guilty. Of course, he may have been forced into it, so he has at least a mitigating excuse. But cops do not have an excuse. When the cops are beating somebody up, the reason witnesses are scared to rush in there and clobber the cops, which a crowd of people could do easily enough, is they're afraid of the other cops that are on patrol. All units in the vicinity would swarm in. They're all on a mission to do that, and that deters people from rescuing the innocent victim.
I don't know. I've seen some Antifa protests where they jump out and rescue their own. It's admirable.
From the police, you mean?
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of
they're all
cases
in black
of that.
masks and they're getting dragged off and they'll go attack the police, drag the guy out, he'll scurry away, and then they don't have the guy anymore.
And if everybody's in black masks, you can't identify them from the video footage.
And you scatter and there you go. So it's I'm not a big fan of Antifa generally, but that's an admirable aspect.
The tactic that
it's
works.
A tactic. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Tom.
So what I'm getting at is that all units in the vicinity, the police forces of the hostile government, they are all the enemy, even if they're just patrolling in some area of the town. It's blocks away from where it happened. They weren't anywhere near where it happened. They are guilty of that crime just as much, and they're free to turn in their badges and go get a job. They're absolutely free to do that. So,
well, I don't know. Some of them would have you believe that they're not the enemy in certain circumstances. Like we just ran into a cop from Keene the other day, Nobody and I, who swore he would not confiscate weapons if ordered to do so.
Still gets paid by tax money.
He does.
Yeah,
he does.
I hope he's telling the truth.
Me too. Tom, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And I wonder what the Barcelona City Police are doing in this situation. Are they picking sides or trying to stay out of it? We're coming up.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarists, thinkers, and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,491, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,144. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, a United States senator called for an end to facial recognition in airports due to lack of oversight on the technology. Meanwhile, facial recognition is spreading across the U.S. in schools everywhere, according to a report. Activist Post reports that Democratic Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts brought up several issues with facial recognition technologies and warned against moving forward without sufficient protections for data being collected during a hearing held by the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science and Transportation Subcommittee on Security on the use of biometric tech. Markey questioned TSA operations at Denver International Airport, using its Chief Operations Officer, Chris McLaughlin, to express his concerns about the program. Markey called on the TSA to halt deployment of facial recognition technology, given the lack of protections to American civil liberties, problems with misidentification and accuracy, which has failed numerous tests from local police to federal law enforcement. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. California residents trying to justify continuing to live in the Golden State might be updating their pro-con list by occasional candlelight for up to a decade, according to PG&E. On Friday, the state's largest utility announced that intentional power outages aimed at preventing wildfires may continue for up to a decade. Activist Post reports that CEO Bill Johnson later clarified during a meeting on Friday of the California Public Utilities Commission, saying, quote, "I didn't mean to say we'd be doing it on this scale for 10 years. I think they'll decrease in size and scope every year," end quote. Last week, nearly 800,000 Californians lost power after PG&E shut it off to lower the risk of wildfires caused by the company's equipment. The outage cost the city of San Jose at least $500,000, according to the mayor. According to PG&E, however, dealing with wildfires is the new abnormal within California. In May of this year, 18-year-old Angel Granados Diaz brought a loaded gun to his Oregon high school. At the time, the story didn't make national headlines because, unlike the stories of this nature that do, Granados Diaz did not shoot anyone. But now, due to a public records request by Coin 6 in Portland, the incident is making headlines for the very reason it did not back in May. Surveillance video obtained Friday by Coin 6 shows the exact moment when the Park Rose High School student was disarmed by football coach and security guard Keenan Lowe. Lowe was called to the Fine Arts Building after at least one student reported that Granados Diaz had been making suicidal statements. Lowe said running away wasn't an option. He analyzed the situation in what he called a fraction of a second. And as seen in the newly released surveillance video, not long after arriving, Lowe had in his hands the weapon and was able to pass it to another teacher. After handing off the gun, Lowe embraces Granados Diaz in a hug. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Following morning reports indicating that Philadelphia High School for the Performing Arts student Samantha Bylum deals with really weird social pressures on a daily basis, Onion reporters met with the 16-year-old dance student who described feeling regularly alienated from her peers for extremely bizarre reasons.
If you're not up to date on the latest urban street art or Esperanza Spalding albums, the other students will eat you alive. It can get pretty brutal. Just the other day, everyone cut class to go watch the $1 Million Quartet musical at the Forest Theater, but nobody told me. Now I'm the only one that hasn't seen Lance Guest's rendition of Folsom Prison Blues. It's humiliating.
According to Bylum, the school year shows no sign of letting up as she continues dealing with the everyday stresses of auditioning for the school's production of My Fair Lady, keeping up with the latest punk Afrofusion dance groups, and not having enough fishnet sleeves to wear throughout the week.
Honestly, I don't know how the other students deal with it.
Keep checking theonion.com for more as this story develops.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, and we're launching into the second hour of the program. We've been covering some international news. We're going to get it a little closer to home here with what's going on with our very own co-host and political candidate in the New Hampshire gubernatorial election coming up in 2020, Nobody. And with you tonight, it is Ian.
Nobody.
And Richie Rich.
I do want to get back to the international stories, though, because Hong Kong is still boiling over with protests. There's some developments there. And then also in the headlines today, hundreds of thousands taking over the streets as Lebanon's protests are growing in Beirut. We'll tell you about those on the way here. Of course, you can bring up anything that's on your mind. Our toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. And also, you can join us on our Discord server, where we have rooms in which you can call in and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio. They sound great. Just go to discord.lrn.fm. But coming up pretty soon, we'll go to the phones first, but we'll talk about what happened to you this weekend, Nobody, on Twitter, a major social media platform banning you permanently for the first time.
Yeah.
No warning. And you were able to appeal, but you failed, so we'll get into all that.
Yeah, the response came back in literally 30 seconds. I hit the submit button. 30 seconds later, I got back the email that says, "You have been your account will not be restored."
So nobody actually reviewed the appeal. It was an automated response. There was no way a human could have reviewed anything.
Right, right. I mean, they would have had to look at the tweet, look at the context in order to review it.
What was the point of putting a link to appeal if nobody was actually going to look at the appeal?
Nobody didn't look at it.
Right. Well, no one. Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes there's ways for like a stage 2, stage 3 type of thing that you got to work through the system.
Yeah, that's it. We'll get into what happened. Ed, though, is in Washington to start things out here, listening online. Go ahead, Ed.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi. You know, a nice thank you for taking my call.
Yes, what we do.
I'm sorry. What is your name, sir? Because
there's three of us here.
My player.
There's three people here, so it's Ian, Nobody, and Richie.
Nobody. Okay, and Ian and Richie. Okay, great. Okay, so what I wanted to mention is something I've often wanted to mention on a radio show. In your conversation, reminded me of the armed march that happened. What was it, about 2 or 3 years ago?
Where?
In Washington.
In D.C., they had an armed march?
Are you talking about Kokesh's deal? Adam Kokesh?
No, I'm not talking about when he held the shotgun up that. I mean, they had an armed march in Washington, D.C.
Really?
Did they not?
Well, there was the one that Kokesh was involved in that initially was intending to march into D.C., but I don't think they actually did. I think they marched from, like, Virginia close to D.C., but I don't think they actually, if I recall correctly, it's been a while.
Might have been someone else. It's been a few years.
Okay.
Well, if it was somebody else, it should have made more headlines, because an armed march into D.C. would have gotten some people arrested, likely.
I would think.
Yeah, but here, the thing I wanted to mention, even though it didn't make it to D.C., I just really felt like after that happened, that the politicians in D.C. thought a little bit harder about what they were saying. They thought a little bit longer, and they spoke a little bit more plainly. They didn't sound as disingenuous or as contemptuous of people, and that was an effect that I felt came out of that, and it's just something I picked up on. Okay.
I think it might have been wishful thinking on your part, because I can tell you, I don't think politicians have been any more of those things that you mentioned.
No, I didn't. I didn't say it lasted long. I didn't say it lasted long.
Okay.
I said it. I felt like it lasted a few days or a week.
Gotcha.
And so it just seems to me, though, that I would like to see a yearly armed march. Is what I was coming around to.
Well, you're calling from Washington State or D.C.? Which Washington?
Yes, I am.
You're in Washington State.
Huh?
That's a long march.
Okay,
Washington State.
Yeah.
Well, organize it locally at your capital.
Well, it's legal to do
there.
it here. I mean, we can go. Yeah. There's all kinds of armed marches in Concord, New Hampshire. I mean, that's happened dozens of times.
If you have a big march in New Hampshire, some of them are just going to be
armed. Yeah, exactly.
Unless they're leftists.
So I mean,
and they still might be armed.
What's the goal, Ed, of marching armed in D.C.? What do you expect that would?
I just want
accomplish?
to see these politicians just quake in their boots a little bit. To tell you the truth, I don't want it to go into any type of violence, but I want to see them quake. I want to.
Well, it's going to likely go to violence.
Feel a little bit less certain. Feel a little bit more like the things they're saying, the lies they're telling, the contempt they have might just tap into a nerve that might, do something they don't want.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's part of what I was trying to get at earlier as well.
Well, I mean, if you have a large enough group to prevent mass arrests, which would probably involve fighting back, then, you definitely, I think the result of that would be your group would be massacred.
Yes, likely.
But, like the Boston massacre, that might spur some real change. It might expose the government for what it truly is.
Well, but that's been done so many times. I mean, it would expose it in a big way all at once. That much is true. What would that lead to? We don't know. But getting the people who are willing to essentially sacrifice themselves, because you're talking about every marcher in this march being a sacrificial lamb, likely, because you'd be going up against the belly of the beast, where they've got plenty of men with guns who are more than happy to use them and have full, or no legal liability for their actions. So they absolutely would. Finding people who are suicidal to that extent is a relatively difficult task.
That's why it's easier to
I don't
just
want it to
fortify
go
your
that
defenses
far.
and let them come to you. When they come to you, it's easier to defend your little plot of homeland than
because you're not taking on their headquarters.
Because you're not taking them on.
Yeah,
right.
I tend to agree with you there. Ed, thanks for the sharing
I
your
like the
thoughts
idea
tonight.
of armed states. Armed marches out in the states. But the thing is, as far as I'm concerned, the federal government can keep D.C.
Right.
Let them have it.
Yeah, I don't need to be in D.C.
I don't want to have anything to do with that place. I feel bad because I have to go to some remote broadcast there next year, and I haven't been in like a decade to D.C. So,
dude, I made the move to New Hampshire about a year ago now.
Yep. Congrats.
Thank you. And my wife likes going down to Boston and Massachusetts for whatever.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't really want to go with you. Like I don't really want to be anywhere else but here at this point.
I know. That's how I feel, man.
I don't like being outside New Hampshire.
Feels dirty to me to leave.
Absolutely, Ed. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. But I appreciate the people who do want to go and do those things. I just tend to think that it's a waste of time. I mean, you touched on this earlier, Richie. The idea that if you're still paying the state while you protest them, you are completely insignificant. You're not doing anything that's going to matter to them. And there's an old quote from a Ronald Reagan advisor that basically said that. The quote is, "Let them protest so long as they pay their taxes."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares?
No skin off their back.
What do they care if you're upset and angry if you're still giving them money?
Yeah.
If
they smashed Starbucks windows.
Even worse.
Half the time the protesters aren't even targeting the right places.
Yeah.
So,
well, of course, that's Antifa.
Right.
their mascot being a raccoon, because mostly what they do is knock over garbage cans and get hit by cars.
We can talk more about the protesters here in a little bit. I want to make sure we cover what happened with Nobody over the weekend. The situation I discovered on accident. You apparently had already been informed about it earlier Saturday, Nobody, but I don't think you told any of your supporters what had happened.
Well, I found out this morning. I first saw
it was this morning?
Yeah, I found out by email.
Because they emailed you at 6 a.m. on Saturday.
Right, but I was going to the crypto conference.
Right, we were driving. We were leaving at that point.
Yeah,
right?
I think I was in the shower probably when that email was sent. So I found out this morning, and actually just before I sent some telegrams to you, I had just found out, and I didn't know what suspended meant, and I didn't know it was permanent.
Me neither.
When I hear suspended, I think it's a temporary thing.
That's what I did.
That's a safe assumption.
I went and I looked. I said, I've never been banned from or suspended from Twitter, so I didn't know what to expect. Is it 30 days? Is it 7 days? I mean, what's this length of time? The email wasn't really clear, at least at first glance, but then you noticed the word permanent at the very bottom of the email, and so we'll tell you about what happened, what it was that you said to get banned permanently from the Twitter platform. Coming up here in moments. It's Free Talk Live.
With Fortune DNA, you can invest in anything you want to, 100% tax-free for you and your heirs, and use your money before you're 59 and a half, without ever losing your principal, all with the blessing of the IRS. Avoid the volatility of the market, put certainty back in your investing future, and keep full access to your money with Fortune DNA. Join us at dna.freetalklive.com for more details and your exclusive invitation to the free webinar on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Register now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth at CryptoWealthCoach.com. Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. GoDark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. We have been discussing mass protests, and we'll continue that with an update on what's going on in Hong Kong. That's on the way here tonight, but talking about deplatforming now of our very own co-host Nobody, taken down from Twitter this weekend over... what was it? In my opinion, an obviously hyperbolic comment that you made, and we'll share the actual tweet that got you taken off the platform, not temporarily, but presumably for life. It's a permanent ban from Twitter. And they said further that if you try to evade the permanent suspension by creating new accounts, we will suspend your new accounts. And then they say, if you wish to appeal this suspension, please contact our support team, which you said you did. Mm-hmm. And 30 seconds later, you received a message. Actually, I have a quote here. Your account has been suspended. So this is the response to your appeal. Your account has been suspended and will not be restored because it was found to be violating the Twitter terms of service, specifically the Twitter rules against participating in targeted abuse in order to ensure that people feel safe expressing diverse opinions and beliefs on our platform. We do not tolerate abusive behavior.
Targeted abuse? Was I saying something mean to some helpless little girl?
Was it an NAP
Hillary
violation?
Clinton.
Oh my God, the queen of evil.
And they said this includes inciting other people to engage in the targeted harassment of someone. So what was it that you said to result in this ban? Well, you found a conversation with Justin Amash and some woman who seems to be a leftist based on the brief look at her profile.
she's a lefty.
Yeah, you didn't know who she was. It wasn't like you were following her or anything like that. I presume you were just you were watching the Amash page or something. How did you?
Well, I went to I saw a tweet by Amash about Hillary Clinton. Mm-hmm. And I read down and responded to some of the responses to his tweet after responding to it myself, and I saw this trope or this woman who posted this trope that some men get triggered when Hillary Clinton speaks. Hashtag misogyny.
I have the actual quote. It was pretty close. It's from Carol Lytle, Karelytle 711. She said, quote, "It's like Pavlov's dogs. The moment Hillary speaks, a lot of men lose their minds. It actually crosses political ideology. Hashtag misogyny."
Which I would call hashtag misandry, but...
And you responded with this. You said, quote, and then you tagged the Carol or Karen or whatever her name is, and then at Justin Amash, "It's not hashtag misogyny. I hate Bill just as much as I hate Hillary. They're both warmongering criminals who should be hung, drawn, and quartered."
Oh, no, there you go. There's the incitement of violence right there.
Yeah, and, when you think about it, they use the death penalty.
Yes, they do.
They use the death penalty. If they were advocating for the use of the death penalty...
Would they be banned?
Would Twitter deplatform Hillary Clinton? No.
Of course not.
But yet it's widely accepted that the penalty for war crimes is death. That's what happened at The Hague. They were hanging Nazis. So why should they not hang Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump for that moment?
Well, how about every politician who ever tweets
Yeah.
about any sort of political program, all of which are backed by the threat of actual violence?
Exactly. So again, you've got this separation between the violence that government does to us is okay. But if we respond with force to that violence, then we're wrong.
That's right.
We're bad because we defended our lives.
Yep.
Would you be able to pull that off if you were elected governor? Nobody?
Pull what off?
To have Hillary Clinton
hung, drawn, and quartered?
No, I
probably hang her
don't
in
think
effigy.
so.
Okay.
That would be you're gonna have to wait till 2024 when I go for president for that.
Well, now if you were elected governor, you could hang her in effigy. You could make a big show out of how politicians from D.C. aren't welcome here in New Hampshire, and hang Donald Trump, hang Hillary Clinton, do a multi-jurisdictional hanging, right?
Maybe I could just get dummies of them and use them as decorations for my inauguration. Hang them from the light poles.
That's an angle I would like to see taken possibly in response to Twitter on this, is because they did ban a politician running for local office in New Hampshire for governor, right? And I thought, despite their words about their terms of service, politicians seem to get a pass on a lot of their rhetoric.
Yes, but this
otherwise.
one isn't an elected politician.
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
You have to be elected. You have to be elected to office to get past.
They
the
probably
Twitter
didn't
censure?
even know
otherwise,
he was a politician.
People who didn't have the power would still be able to speak freely. If they limit it to people who are elected, then only the establishment can say whatever they want.
Right.
But the rest of us can't.
And if Twitter didn't know that he was a local politician running for office, maybe that could be an avenue to get reinstated.
Yeah.
In the future.
Actually, one of the things that I noted in my appeal was that I regarded this as a donation in kind to the Chris Sununu campaign, and I was prepared to pursue legal action.
But that was read by a bot.
Yeah,
dismissed.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. If I could find the attorney, I would love to sue them down to their skivvies, because they operate as a wholly owned subsidiary of the U.S. government.
Twitter
does, and Facebook does. All of the Google too.
Yep.
All of the big boys are gonna do what the government wants them to do.
Most of the time. Every now and then you'll see an example of them standing up, like Google and Apple refusing to put a backdoor ostensibly into their encryption, fighting the FBI on that kind of thing. There are occasional times when I can cheer on these mega companies, but for the most part, they are very obedient, and they're more than happy to do what they're told.
Yeah.
I find it difficult to hold them accountable to that as well, because their goal is to make money. Right, they're not activist companies.
No, in the case of companies like Amazon, the government's one of their largest customers, with their Amazon hosting service.
If you look at the Nazi occupation of France, you'll find that a lot of the business owners who cooperated with the Nazis just wanted to make money.
Yeah.
But that didn't mean they didn't deserve whatever happened to them.
Right.
But if they cooperated with the Nazis.
We don't fault local restaurants here for collecting the 9% prepared food tax either, that then goes to the state.
Well, they're under the threat of violence.
They're under the threat of violence. But at some point, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter was a small enough company where they could have used that as an excuse, but then grew. Right. So now we're drawing a cutoff point, at which point we're like, well, you're small enough where you're under the threat of violence, and now you're big enough where you're part of the conglomeration.
We got more on the way here. If you want to weigh in on deplatforming, it's happened again. It's struck closer to home. Most of us have had temporary bans from some of these platforms at some point in the past, but is this your first ever actual full-on ban from one of these platforms?
Yeah, it is. The only person I know that's happened to is Cantwell.
855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want here on Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. We walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com. fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dynavite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click tips, tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. Look, if you want to get off the grid, you got to take some steps. And one of those steps is not putting your phone into airplane mode. You've got to get a Go Dark bag if you really want to keep your phone completely off the grid. That is essentially a Faraday cage for your mobile device. It'll make it so no signal is going to leave or enter your phone while it is in the Go Dark bag. You go to godarkbags.com/FTL. If you want to stop tracking of your phone, as long as it's in that bag, you're not being tracked. godarkbags.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. As we go to more on what's happened to nobody, targeted over the weekend by Twitter for takedown. Now, we don't know, you never know who reported you for this, but you got into a brief conversation on a Justin Amash thread with a liberal lady who said something to you, or not to you directly, but she had said something on the Justin Amash thread about how men are triggered by Hillary, #misogyny, and you came back and essentially said that it wasn't misogyny, that you hate both Hillary and Bill Clinton equally, basically.
And I love Tulsi Gabbard, who's a lot more female than Hillary Clinton will ever be.
And further,
started on that.
And further, you said that, quote, they are both warmongering criminals, meaning Bill and Hillary, who should be hung, drawn, and quartered. So Twitter, within a matter of hours, it was the same night, basically, at 6:30 in the morning, Twitter sent you an email. The woman had posted her tweet that you responded to at midnight. So sometime between midnight and 6, you responded to this lady, and then somebody reported it to Twitter, and you got your account.
I'm going to say she's the likely culprit.
She's likely the culprit, but there are also other people who follow nobody who don't like him, right? Like there's people who hate free staters, there's people who hate activists, there are people who hate libertarians.
That's true.
And there's people who would just hate that comment because they love the Clintons and they love tyranny and war.
Like probably the lady you were responding
But
to.
she was tagged in the response, right?
Yeah.
She was, yeah.
She's a known lefty, liberal, Hillary supporter, right?
Yeah.
And oh my God, now you're inciting violence against her feminine hero.
Yeah.
Heroine.
Yep. And so now
and the rapist husband of her feminist hero.
So you are not allowed to have hyperbole on Twitter, even though, obviously you aren't seriously going to go and draw and quarter even the most scummy politician.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's not that that nobody can use hyperbole on Twitter. Most people can use hyperbole on Twitter just fine. It's just if they decide they don't like your politics, then you can't use hyperbole on Twitter.
And not just and again, one of the things I thought was shocking about this was the immediacy and permanency of this. It wasn't like, oh, bad boy, we're going to give you a little hand slap, we'll ban you for 3 days or ban you for a week or suspend you. They used the term suspension in their email.
Permanently suspended.
But at the bottom of the email, it says it's a permanent suspension. So they're not interested
banning
in
would be too strong of a term.
They're not interested in having you back. So it's pretty I mean, I don't think it's shocking. But it's still outrageous, and people need to look at alternatives to these centralized platforms. So once again, this is another great opportunity to tell folks about Mastodon. And it is something that I have promoted previously on Freekeen, which is, by the way, where you can go right now if you want to see the actual tweet. Because thankfully, to Twitter's credit, not that they deserve a lot of it, they actually do tell you what you did to deserve the ban. I mean, I don't agree with why they banned him, but I've had situations with like YouTube where YouTube one time put our channel on a temporary suspension, but they wouldn't say why. They just said, you violated our community guidelines.
Go in and figure it out.
Which one?
Part? We were broadcasting for 3 hours straight. Which portion of the show was violating your community guidelines? Could you give me a time code?
You're lucky you can narrow it down to one show, because if you have a large channel, a lot of these people are, they're retroactively going back through the histories of people they don't like to nitpick and find the one thing that's offensive. You could be looking at multiple hundreds of videos.
Yeah. So to their credit, they were specific. They didn't just say you violated our terms or our community guidelines. They gave the specific section of those guidelines, which basically say, you can't make threats against people, and they acted as though it was a real threat, even though it was clearly hyperbolic.
It wasn't that long ago that Twitter was like the known place where you could go for freedom of speech.
Was it?
Kind of. Like they were far more open than some of the other social media sites and what they allowed users to post. right? There wasn't a lot of Twitter banning 2-3 years ago.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Become a thing. And that was part of their position, right? Like you have the small amount of characters, say what you want, Wild Wild West, and now not so much anymore.
Mm.
Well, this is the way that things in a lot of cases go with companies that start in one way. YouTube is another example of this.
Yep.
YouTube was this sort of open platform for some amount of time, and now it's become a much more corporate environment where companies like CNN get preference when it comes to the YouTube algorithms, figuring out what to recommend. They're recommending more mainstream media sources than they are independent sources. They're deplatforming or demonetizing or partially demonetizing many channels, giving them a disincentive to continue doing whatever it was that they were doing before.
Yeah, and of course the other thing, which is even more insidious, is the troll flags and that kind of thing that Facebook uses, where, you know, if they decide you're a troll, then they might not even bother to ban you. They just reduce
your visibility.
Your visibility. And this has happened to people like Ford Fisher of News to Share.
I like that guy. He's a good guy.
It's happened to Josh Sigurdson of, I can't remember the name of his platform, but he's another guy who goes out and tells the truth a lot. You know, it's really
and that's even more insidious, right?
Yeah.
Because then the individual still believes they have the same platform they had.
Yep.
They continue producing the content that they were producing, and they don't realize necessarily up front that there's been a significant reduction in their actual reach.
Yep,
they have no idea.
I don't remember the specifics of the article, but there's something came out recently where, you know, if you're on those platforms to make money, that's one thing. But Facebook, I believe it's Facebook, fraudulently misidentified the amount of reach you could get. So there were people who moved from YouTube to Facebook, or you know, vice versa. Again, I don't remember the specifics. And it was misinformation. It was disinformation. So they moved, they lost their reach, but they had already spent, you know, they had already invested the funds to get to the new platform.
Thinking that they were going to have a greater reach.
Because they were told, your reach is greater here. We can get you into, you know, more viewership.
Right. The old claim was, I remember this from a few years ago, was, oh, if you got video content, upload it to Facebook, because Facebook will show their own videos to their own people more than they'll show a link to YouTube.
Yeah, something like that.
Is that what you're talking about?
Again, I don't remember the specifics of the article, but that was the gist of it. But yeah, come to our platform. You'll have a larger reach. And then you go to that platform, and it wasn't. It was significantly less than what they had said, based on the actual statistics. Like, they didn't even have the viewership that they claimed they had when they made the offer to you, the content maker.
Wow.
This is one of the reasons why you should get on, if you're on any of these major platforms. I'm not saying leave them, because there is an audience there, right? I'm not running away from YouTube just because of how they've been treating everybody. You know, the Free Keen YouTube channel has 15 or 17,000 subscribers. It's nothing, you know, to really bat an eye at, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. Yeah. And so I don't want to just walk away from that, but at the same time, I want to create an alternative for those people. And so therefore, we've got everything up on the library platform at lbry.com. That's a decentralized blockchain-based platform. Free Talk Live has a social media account on the Mastodon platform, which is an alternative to Twitter. It does everything that Twitter does. It does the hashtags, it does the @ tagging, you know, it does all that. It looks just like Twitter, except it's decentralized. And so there's no CEO who's sitting over top of everything, setting policy or
bot
or anything like that. If you want, you can start your own Mastodon server. We'll continue here. It's Free Talk Live.
Dehebo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. So it naturally has antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-infection, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. But maybe more importantly, Dehebo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea builds corpuscles in the blood which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer happens to die in oxygen. The tea is great for healthy people, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. Tahibo Tea Club's original pure Pau d'Arco Super Tea is only $34.95 plus shipping. Order now at shopsupertea.com or call 818-984-6100. That's shopsupertea.com, 818-984-6100. shopsupertea.com.
Warning, don't let your business get left behind in what is likely to be the biggest economic boom in recent history. If you need to build for your business to grow, call General Steel today for a pre-engineered steel building designed for your needs. No wasted space. Steel prices are expected to rise, but you can still lock in your price on a General Steel building. And you can still save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. As much as half. But you must call now. If you need a church building, office, warehouse, manufacturing space, retail space, or more, call General Steel today. You can still get the General's 50-year structural warranty and General Steel quality, all at a price you can afford. So don't let rising steel prices put your project out of reach and stop you from making your company great.
800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. 800-965-1295. That's 800-965-1295.
Free Talk Live.
And that's what it really comes down to. I think the internet is becoming more and more conservative. I've been online for 20 years. Really? And everyone's trying to make money now. And when you get money involved, you start having people scared of their own shadows or their own nipples.
A long time ago, whitehouse.com
porn site
was a porn site. There was a website that misspelled Blue's Clues somehow and was a porn site. And yeah, you don't really see those nowadays.
But I don't know. I mean, back in the 20 years ago, you didn't have Two Girls, One Cup.
You didn't, but if you did, there wasn't that much complaint about it because usually people that were online 20 years ago, you had to have a certain amount of technical sophistication.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything you want. Take control of the airwaves. Here, our number, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So you can bring up anything. We are talking about nobody's banned permanently from Twitter. First time ever. You weren't suspended before this. It's not like you had a long history of suspensions from Twitter. You were never suspended from Twitter, correct?
I mean, I think I've probably had a couple of 7-day bans.
Under the Elect Nobody account?
But I don't even remember.
That hasn't even existed for very long. Isn't it a new account?
It hasn't existed for very long.
Was it originally a Rich Paul account that you renamed, or was it a brand new account that you created?
It was a brand new account.
So are you saying you were banned as Rich Paul on Twitter or banned as Elect Nobody?
I don't recall. I think I might have had a 7-day or something like that.
As Elect Nobody in that short of a time frame? Because you're talking about like 4 months.
I feel like we would have heard about it. I feel like you would have told somebody about it. if that happened.
I don't really recall. So
okay, I'm curious to see if you could grab maybe your email and check, because they did send you an email this time, so you presumably would also have.
That's the only time I remember getting an email from Twitter about any of that. But I think I logged in one time and they said, "Oh, you can't post for 7 days, or you can't comment for 7 days, or something like that."
Okay,
interesting.
Yeah, I would expect that they would have sent an email about something like that.
I'd be curious as to what the post was that got that ban as well, right? Or that suspension at that time as well.
I notice you don't have your phone with you right now, so you probably can't check on that.
True.
But I would be curious to know more about that. But in this particular case, this was not a temporary ban. It was permanent, and it was based on a statement you made that was obviously exaggerated about drawing and quartering Hillary and Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Let's go
with
to
all the political cartoons out there as well that show violence on politicians. It's hard to take those things seriously. So I feel like social media is a little bit harsh on those issues, like hyperbole, but they also suck on satire as well.
Oh yeah,
right? Like if you post something,
they can't recognize sarcasm.
They can't recognize it either.
So we're going to get back. We can talk more about that, but I also want to make sure you know that good nutrition is key to looking and feeling great. But of course, eating right all the time these days can be a challenge with our busy schedules getting in the way, or traveling or whatever. You might just not have the time or the desire to stop and cook the right foods. But Balance of Nature has a solution for you. With just 3 of their fruit capsules and 3 of the Balance of Nature vegetable capsules, you get 10 servings of fruits and veggies, and that's a lot of nutrition. For a limited time, you can go online and become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. And after your 3rd month of receiving the product, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no charge an additional set of fruits and veggies. So if you want to get into that deal, go to balanceofnature.com and use code FTL, like Free Talk Live. That's balanceofnature.com. Code FTL. Let's go to Robert. He's on the line in Michigan, listening to WTKG in Grand Rapids. Go ahead, Robert. Robert.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks. Go ahead.
Your subject is something that I can personally say I'm very familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit of a dinosaur, so I'm not really into the whole social network stuff. I don't do Facebook. I'm one of the 3 people on the planet that don't do Facebook. And I don't quite understand the Twitter and all that other stuff, but I do get on Craigslist, which has a community page.
Mm-hmm.
And I also do Reddit, which I love because it's got a variety of subjects that come across the website and you can comment on.
We were just talking about a little bit of Reddit.
I can't stand the Redditors for the most part, but go ahead.
I like Reddit because it's just got these weird people on there that got all kinds of stories and videos, and it's
there's some things to like about Reddit. I mean, I like the subreddits that you can find ones you're interested in, but in a lot of cases, some of the denizens are fairly undesirable.
I would agree.
Yeah.
So anyway, I do post, or I have posted in the past on Craigslist in the community, mainly on politics and occasionally rants and raves. There are 2 categories that are still up and you can technically post, but and take this with a grain of salt. And this could be my own bias. I'm not willing to say otherwise, or I'm not stupid enough to say that. But for the most part, if you post conservative viewpoints in any way, shape, or form, you are immediately taken down, or you can't even get past the word Nazis. I call them word Nazis.
Yep.
That I've tried posting things with the word Nazi in it, with the phrase word Nazis, and that wasn't acceptable in any way, shape, or form.
There seems to be a lefty bent from anything coming out of Silicon Valley. Right? San
Most
Francisco.
of the websites. I do agree.
No, wait, is this, just to be clear, are the people who are moderating your area from your area, or are they people from San Francisco who are moderating, like, the Grand Rapids area?
Well, I think I've experienced both. There, you have the ability to flag as a reader, and I certainly have experienced that because there are a lot of haters out out there in the world.
Sure.
I don't agree with a lot of the other viewpoints, but I unless it's a personal attack on me for my previous postings, I never delete a posting. I completely believe in free speech, even if they're a bunch of idiots. And if people want to believe I'm an idiot, that's fine, but I don't delete other people's posts.
Craigslist does have some automation with their flagging as well.
They do.
Meaning if it's flagged X amount of times, they'll automatically pull it down?
No, meaning that you can have something flagged and pulled down before it's reasonable that many people would have seen it, considered it offensive, and flagged it.
Craigslist, corporate Craigslist has done that to me more than a few times. And, no vulgar language, no threats of any kind. I certainly am not as bad as Mr. Nobody. Holy cow, that's kind of harsh.
But necessary.
You just try to post a conservative posting or to try to defend a conservative viewpoint, and I very rarely get through anymore. I've got 3 different emails that I kind of rotate in the system, and it takes them a little while sometimes to catch up to me. But once they do, I'm taken down, instantaneously.
Wow.
But I am proud getting to the Reddit website. I am very proud of the fact that I was initially banned permanently from Reddit for posting my very first posting on the website in defense of pro-choice. I know they have rules, and somebody was basically celebrating the fact that they, killed an unborn child. They weren't celebrating an abortion. They were celebrating the killing of an unborn child. And that's kind of personal to me because my wife and I can't have kids. So I basically defended my side by saying, you're glorifying what you're doing, but what about the people like myself who would love to have kids and can't? And when we see people celebrating that, it really bothers me. And I got a reply back within 30 minutes saying that I was permanently banned. And I did appeal that right away.
You were banned from the entire website or just from the subreddit?
They, just like Mr. Nobody, they said, this is against the rules and this is, harsh and blah, blah, blah. And you are permanently banned from Reddit. And I appealed back, and they did kindly agree to only suspend me for 72 hours. But the fact that that was my very first post and they wanted to ban me immediately and permanently, at least they were willing to listen to my appeal.
Yeah, not a welcoming, not a welcoming.
I always
there.
envision the moderators to be the basement dwellers of the community as well.
Yeah. Hey, thanks,
if you've got
Robert.
that much time to spend, moderating a subreddit, I don't think you're doing much else.
Appreciate the time. Thanks for the call tonight. The
and the
number
interesting thing there is it sounded like even from that guy, like what I said was so extreme, but yet it's okay for Hillary Clinton to tweet about how we should go to war and kill hundreds of thousands or millions of people.
Right.
But that's not advocating violence because those bullets are wearing uniforms.
Yeah,
it's political warfare.
Yeah, and of course it's not just her. It's so many politicians that Twitter will not do anything. They'll never touch those political accounts, no matter how offensive the things are that they say.
Yeah. And the violence they incite actually happen.
Correct.
The people who stand up against them actually get clubbed
With
to
her,
death
it's not
by
hyperbole.
police.
With you, it was just a hyperbolic comment.
They're
With
not
her,
even inciting it. They're ordering it.
Exactly.
Exactly. Or they're not yet in charge and they want to be in charge of ordering those things. So the toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. David is in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, David.
Yeah, calling about you are one of your stations you broadcast on the weekend, like right now on KENN in the Four Corners of New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Colorado. A lot of Indians out there. How you doing, Skins? Like you.
Is that a word that they take? Is that,
Yeah.
They're Indians.
Are they okay with that?
They're Skins. They're Indians. They're Indians. They're Redskins. There are certain factions within there that don't like it, but they know what I'm talking about.
I don't know where this is going, but hang on. We'll bring you back here. What message for the Indians does David in New Mexico have? Well, that's how it started, so we'll find out how the rest of it goes coming up here in moments. Hour number 3 is on the way, plus Hong Kong, according to the AP, descending into chaos again. Protesters there defying a ban on protests. We'll continue and tell you what's going on. It's Free Talk Live. Hour 3's next. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,491, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,144. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a United States senator called for an end to facial recognition in airports due to lack of oversight on the technology. Meanwhile, facial recognition is spreading across the U.S. in schools everywhere, according to a report. Activist Post reports that Democratic Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts brought up several issues with facial recognition technologies and warned against moving forward without sufficient protections for data being collected during a hearing held by the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science and Transportation Subcommittee on Security on the use of biometric tech. Markey questioned TSA operations at Denver International Airport, using its Chief Operations Officer, Chris McLaughlin, to express his concerns about the program. Markey called on the TSA to halt deployment of facial recognition technology, given the lack of protections to American civil liberties, problems with misidentification and accuracy, which has failed numerous tests from local police to federal law enforcement. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. California residents trying to justify continuing to live in the Golden State might be updating their pro-con list by occasional candlelight for up to a decade, according to PG&E. On Friday, the state's largest utility announced that intentional power outages aimed at preventing wildfires may continue for up to a decade. Activist Post reports that CEO Bill Johnson later clarified during a meeting on Friday of the California Public Utilities Commission, saying, quote, "I didn't mean to say we'd be doing it on this scale for 10 years. I think they'll decrease in size and scope every year," end quote. Last week, nearly 800,000 Californians lost power after PG&E shut it off to lower the risk of wildfires caused by the company's equipment. The outage cost the city of San Jose at least $500,000, according to the mayor. According to PG&E, however, dealing with wildfires is the new abnormal within California. In May of this year, 18-year-old Angel Granados Diaz brought a loaded gun to his Oregon high school. At the time, the story didn't make national headlines because, unlike the stories of this nature that do, Granados Diaz did not shoot anyone. But now, due to a public records request by Coin 6 in Portland, the incident is making headlines for the very reason it did not back in May. Surveillance video obtained Friday by Coin 6 shows the exact moment when the Park Rose High School student was disarmed by football coach and security guard Keenan Lowe. Lowe was called to the Fine Arts Building after at least one student reported that Granados Diaz had been making suicidal statements. Lowe said running away wasn't an option. He analyzed the situation in what he called a fraction of a second. And as seen in the newly released surveillance video, not long after arriving, Lowe had in his hands the weapon and was able to pass it to another teacher. After handing off the gun, Lowe embraces Granados Diaz in a hug. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Zoo visitors watch the mating rituals of the ice cream shop staff, and a serious coworker puts on headphones to focus on his sandwich. Happiness is perpetually fleeting, so try to savor the next few minutes before it disappears once again. This is the Onion Week in Review. FBI officials announced they just can't bring themselves to bust a man who recently downloaded every season of the 1990s television show Picket Fences from a BitTorrent website. While stressing that pirating copyrighted material is strictly illegal, federal authorities expressed their sympathy for the man and claimed that perhaps the story of Sheriff Jimmy Brock and the strange events in a small Wisconsin town is all he has left to cling to.
We have more than enough evidence to bust him for piracy, but if the poor guy really wants to watch all 4 seasons of a 20-year-old CBS drama that nobody remembers, he's clearly going through a pretty big rough patch right now. Frankly, we don't need to make it any worse.
For statistical purposes, we have seized all private data from your personal computer, and we are disgusted with your recent internet search history. You sick f***. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, launching into the third hour of the program. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Ian.
Nobody.
And Richie Rich.
Coming up, Hong Kong protesters back in the streets. They don't care that they've been banned. They're going ahead anyway, defying a ban on their protests. We'll tell you about that on the way. Of course, you can bring up whatever's on your mind. In the last hour, for those of you just tuning in, David in New Mexico, we brought him on in just the remaining moments of the final segment, and he had a message for Indians, which he started with...
I'm a little leery about this.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going.
I don't like the sound of it.
One little, two little, three of them somewhere.
I did want him to be able to say what he had to say, whatever that is. You opened by calling them skins, and I was wondering, I'm wondering how some Native Americans feel about that.
Well, ask an Indian. I'm not going to speak for him.
Okay.
You guys must be white men.
How?
I don't know.
So I want the attention of the Native American community. You're proud of your 200 plus stations that you broadcast on. KENN out of Farmington, New Mexico is one of them, which is and that area, Four Corners, has arguably the highest population of Native Americans in the country. There, and so we're talking to a lot of Indians out of that station. And this ties in. I keep hearing the word ban over and over again tonight. Oh, and this is not a critical phone call. I agree with everything that you've said. In case it sounds like a critical phone call, but the recurring theme is ban. Matter of fact, the Indians can relate to a ban, can't they? There was a ban on Indians in 100 different ways. There's nothing new under the sun. These themes are recurring. Ban. Everything is one type of human banning something about another type of human. human, or banning them altogether. Whether it's Twitter or Facebook or the University of New Mexico radio station, KUNM, or whatever it
Way
might
to tie
be.
it in.
You know, pardon?
Way to tie it in.
What? Yeah, well, it's all related. There are
Sure,
cliche
it's
phrases
related to these
read-
people who cannot handle criticism. They can't handle hearing something that they disagree with. They get all upset about these things, and the only way they can deal with it is by shutting down the conversation. That's what this.
Right. It's a circular behavior throughout history. It's the word ban sums it all up. It's one human trying to ban something about another human, or ban that human altogether, up to and including a genocide. And once again, our Native American people that I wanted the attention of can relate to that as well. Okay, and so the reason that I'm picking them is, I on the weekends I listen on KENN. I happen to know where I live and who my neighbors are in New Mexico, and there's a lot of Indians out here, and I'm calling because of one, I got banned by some humans from seeing my children, and that led me to try to get some help from people, and that leads to other bans. Like Nobody just got banned because he's trying to spread a message, and somebody else doesn't want his message to get out, and they don't want him to have access to a certain venue, and so they ban him. And so I was most recently banned from the University of New Mexico. Matter of fact, I was banned from the entire campus. The dean of students wrote a letter that I haven't read yet because I haven't picked my mail, but I understand from a police report that the dean of students sent me a letter not only banning me from calling into the radio station, which includes, hey natives out there, Singing Wire. They all know Singing Wire. They know it. So the Singing Wire on KUNM is a Native American Indian program every Sunday from noon to 4. It's a 4-hour program. And to answer your question from the other day, Ian, yes, it has a spiritual element to it. That what they do is they play for 4 hours straight. They play Native American music. That means the people making the music need to be Native American. They can play
That's really
rock
cool.
and roll, or they can play the Native American flute, whatever they want. But it's native. It's natives making. And then in the course of that music, what they'll do is they'll do a set of contemporary. They'll do a set of country two-step music.
Okay.
They'll do a set of traditional music. They'll do it might be round dance music. It might be, here's one for you. You'll like this one, Ian. The Native American church peyote songs.
Hey, all right. Hey, good call. Thanks, David, for sharing that here with us tonight. Appreciate it. But yeah, he's definitely right that there's a big tendency to ban things that people don't like and to shut down conversation before anybody can really have a way to express themselves, or to get to the point where people can come to an agreement or find points of agreement. Because if you can't have the conversation in the first place, you'll never know about that.
Well, and a lot of it is when their position can't stand the criticism, can't be held, or can't hold up to the criticism. The first response is to ban.
They don't want to have.
They don't want to hear it. They don't want to have a conversation. It's our way. It's our position. It's our morals or ethics, if you will, and that's it. That's the law. That's their stance. And if you come across them, you get shut down because it can't hold up. It won't hold up to any sort of conversation.
Let's go on here. We got Austin on the line in South Carolina, watching us on Twitch. Go ahead, Austin.
Hey, I appreciate you guys taking my call.
Yes.
I heard you guys mentioning the Hong Kong situation. I had a couple of thoughts about that.
Please go right ahead.
So obviously, I think everyone can agree that excessive force is unnecessary. But on a bigger level, on a bigger picture, I should say, the Hong Kong as a state entity, I don't think is sustainable. And I think they're going to have to turn to either China or some other large state around them.
When you say that it's not sustainable, what do you mean?
Well, you have numerous issues. It's a small state, it's concentrated, and you have all this crime going on all the time, and you have these rising property rates that are, rent is ridiculously high, and people are having trouble even living there and working there. They're living in cages. And
couldn't a market actually just flush that out? by people moving away from the city to find more suitable living conditions.
Well, the problem is Hong Kong is a
doesn't have
tiny
it away.
island of freedom, and if you move outside of Hong Kong,
You're in China.
you're going to be in the rest of China living under communism. You know,
I don't really see what's so wrong with China. I think China's done a lot of great things for the world, and I think they're doing.
Do you
well
know
as
that they?
states
Do you know
themselves.
that they harvest organs from political dissidents?
You know,
while
they're locking up.
imprisoned?
They're locking up Muslims in re-education camps right now.
Well, I mean, it depends on the situation. I would say with the organ harvesting, if there's a need for a superior citizen who hasn't committed
You're
crimes,
trolling,
hasn't made,
right?
Wow,
You're trolling. You don't. Really
Well, thank you for being evil.
I want to address your point.
I
real
know
quick.
it's nice to have an example of pure evil call in so that people can know what that sounds like.
I want to
I
address
guess
your point real quick.
superior was the wrong word to use. There are organs that aren't necessary to live as a human. If you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison, why do you need your kidney?
Well, obviously
Because
you're
it's
living
mine.
without a heart, but as a human, it's debatable.
You should be able to sell it if you wish.
Yeah. And do you want to go ahead and defend re-education camps, forced re-education camps, while you're on the line, sir?
Well, I would say, it's really just it's probably a better form of imprisonment. These people have committed crimes and they believe in
The crime
they have a
of
system of
being a
Believing
Muslim?
something that the government doesn't want them to believe.
Is that a crime in your mind?
Well, if they're Muslims, I mean, they support a lot of terrible things. I think we can agree on
Really?
that.
Like what?
The whole chopping your hands off if you're a thief, and
You think all
bombing
Muslims support
things
that?
to get your way. I think on a general level, you could say probably about 95%. I think you could look that statistic up. There's probably
I don't think you
something
can.
out there.
Do you
like that.
think all Christians believe everything in the Old Testament? Like, I mean,
No.
I know Christians who don't want
I
to
mean, I'm a
stone
Christian.
gays, even though that's in the Old Testament.
Would you feel differently?
Would you want to stone gays? Do you think that's okay?
Well, I'll bring him back here in just a moment. But would Austin, you feel differently if they were locking up Christians in re-education camps? Is it the fact that they're locking up Muslims doesn't bother you because those are different people? Them people are different. They got different beliefs. Because as far as I'm concerned, all human beings are very similar. The beliefs aside, we all have the same, for the most part, unless you're a psychopath. A lot of us have the same wants and the same desires. 855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. We'll continue with him. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. Dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite. DINOVITE.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click masternodes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org.
Do you want to join the ultra-wealthy by using a 160-year-old investing program that is no longer exclusive? Keep your funds fluid and 100% tax-free for you or your heirs with no contribution limits and without ever losing your principal with Fortune DNA. Learn how to avoid the volatility of the market and put certainty back into your investing future. Join us at dna.freetalklive.com for more details and your exclusive invitation to the free webinar on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Register now at dna.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live Sunday edition of the show. You dial toll-free if you want to join us. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms, and that's where you can go and join the conversation with other Free Talk Live listeners. Actually, they've been talking about Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree in there tonight, sharing their reviews of the movie on various different platforms. Yeah. Got to say, I appreciate that, so thank you guys.
Probably got nostalgic hearing him on air yesterday, that's why.
Yeah, and he's coming back in this Tuesday night, as a matter of fact. So we'll get more Derek J, 3 hours of him coming up this week. But if you haven't seen Victimless Crime Spree, get on over to victimlesscrimespree.com. Some fun parts of that movie include Nobody and I getting arrested at least one point in the film. So there's a lot of fun stuff in there. Check that out, victimlesscrimespree.com. Also, Free Talk Live is brought to you by local.bitcoin.com. It is finally a global trading platform that respects your privacy. You don't have to show identification to join the site. In fact, there's nowhere for you to show identification. You can't upload it to any part of the site. So it makes it easy to get in there and get started buying and selling Bitcoin Cash with dozens of payment methods. Keep in mind, if you are planning to sell, your risks are a little bit higher, and some of those payment methods, your risks are very high, so be careful. Make sure you do some research to learn about what those risks are. If you're buying, choose somebody who's a seller that's got some reputation. As long as you do that, you're pretty safe. Local.bitcoin.com is where you can go. But again, on a platform that has no identification requirements, you got to keep in mind that the kind of people who don't want to show ID, including scam artists, may be present. So
I would stick with cash.
Buyer beware. And you can set up cash buys on local.bitcoin.com.
That's all I would work with if it were me.
Local.bitcoin.com. Get started buying and selling Bitcoin Cash. As we go back to Austin, calling from South Carolina, who we're not really sure, at least I'm going to say I'm not really sure whether Austin really believes the things that he's saying. I certainly hope
he sounds pretty trolly.
Yeah, I think so. But, we'll let you keep saying them, Austin, because you were calling in to talk about Hong Kong, saying that you didn't believe that Hong Kong was sustainable. Although I think it's interesting to point out that Hong Kong sustained itself just fine for many, many decades under British so-called rule, where the Brits basically didn't do anything. They kind of just let Hong Kong be, and it grew into the most economically free place on the planet. And it is, by far, compared to a lot of other places, much more free there. It's only since the late 1990s when the Chinese government came in, I think it was 97 when the British government had to leave their lease or whatever it was. It ended, and the Chinese government took back over. For a while, the Chinese government seemed to kind of keep their hands off.
Yeah, they left it alone
Right.
initially because they saw the growth and the potential of what it had.
Yeah, and now that's kind of changing. But you're saying you think that some sort of large centralized government needs to go in there because the rent's too high? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
The rent is too damn high.
Go ahead.
Sure. I think that's maybe a mischaracterization of what I'm trying to say. It's more. I mean, I guess I would say in essence, it's better to be a Chinese citizen than it is to be a citizen of Hong Kong.
In what respect?
Why is that?
You've seen. I mean, I presume you've seen the reports on the living conditions in Hong Kong.
Well, I've not. No, I mean it's a large city, so I imagine you can have a nice place or a really crappy place.
Yeah, I mean, certainly you can get some very cheap places there. They have what they call cage homes, which are basically shared living areas where you just have, a little area with a bunk that's yours. And, some people may be living there because they're not making a lot of money. Other people may be living there because they want to save up money, for example, to start a business or do something, which is very easy to do in Hong Kong.
So they're cutting costs.
And, yeah, I mean, capitalists are people who will live in a way that most people won't, so that later they can live in a way that most people can't.
So you would say that there are no instances where someone finds themselves trapped in that situation? Because I think that's the majority of those citizens who are trapped in those living conditions because they live in maybe an area around Hong Kong where the wages are extremely low, and of course Hong Kong pays fairly well, but then they are trapped due to that situation in a terrible living situation that I would say is far worse than any place in China.
Poverty is the default position anywhere you go. So I always feel weird about being trapped economically because that's, you can dig yourself out at any time you want. So if people
you can if the government doesn't stop you.
Right. But we're talking about Hong Kong free market kind of a thing, right? So if you're there,
they're definitely freer market.
Yeah.
I would disagree with that on some level in that the government actually controls most of the property in Hong Kong, and they make massive amounts of money auctioning off that property, and it goes for ridiculous amounts of money because there's not a lot of land in Hong Kong.
So what you're saying is the government is the problem in Hong Kong if they are restricting artificially the marketplace as far as selling land or buying land is concerned. If the government weren't doing that, then people would have a much better opportunity to purchase land at a lower price, right?
Well, it doesn't even have to be an artificial scarcity. If Hong Kong is that small of a landmass, you're going to have a natural scarcity for land available.
No doubt.
Well,
but it sounds
unless people want to leave. If people wanted to leave, they would leave and rents would fall.
Well, but if what he's saying is true, the government's controlling a large swath of the property there, that's an artificially inflated situation as far as costs are concerned.
Well, if they're keeping it from being used, then that's definitely true because they're restricting the supply.
Yeah, he's saying they're auctioning it off, which means private buyers or other governments, or whatever, are buying it. But what I'm saying is, if you have a small landmass and that land is valued at a premium, you can expect prices to rise regardless of how that scarcity came to be.
Right, but only to the extent that people want to be there, because they could go someplace else.
Right.
As I understand,
as long as they're free to leave.
I believe that you can move from Hong Kong to China, but I don't think you can freely move from China to Hong Kong.
Probably.
That's my belief. I'm not sure about that. Do you know?
I'm not sure on the specifics of that.
But Austin, what is it that you think the Chinese government would do better? I mean, this is a massive evil government that harms countless individuals' lives across China, attempting to impose their way in places like Tibet and elsewhere. I mean, what is it that you think they're going to do that's going to help those folks?
I think you're mistaking. Maybe I think you're characterizing something as genocide or something to that effect, where I would characterize it as cleaning up your country, cleaning up your population,
an ethnic cleansing.
Yeah.
So would you say, for example, that when
it's not based on ethnics, it's based on terrorism. They are going after terrorists.
They're going after monks, bro. But I'm wondering, do you think it was okay when the Romans cleaned up their country by throwing your people to the lions? Or do you just wish death on other people who aren't your little tribe?
Well, I mean, if my tribe was committing organized terrorism, then I would leave my tribe.
Thanks for the call, Austin. Appreciate
most of these people aren't, and I would say that if you take a look at Christian history, you're going to find a lot of terrorism. Look at the Crusades, look at the Inquisition, look at the Salem witch trials, look at the persecution of gays. Look at the persecution of everybody, and you're going to find a lot of tyranny in Christian history. So if I was living in your glass house, I wouldn't be throwing any stones.
Thanks for the call. More coming up. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. GoDark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict, or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You dial toll-free if you want to join us. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Also, want to say thank you to Vidar Jacobson. He is a Free Talk Live Gold amplifier, which means Vidar is contributing $10 a month to the AMP program, which you can do as well over at amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com. Plus, also thanks to Gunneman 2002, who's a silver amplifier, contributing $5 a month, which is what we ask for, but some people do more. And we definitely appreciate everybody that contributes to the AMP program because it helps us get on more radio stations around the United States. Over 200 stations currently carry the show throughout an entire week's time. And so it's not all 200 every night, but over a whole week we're on that many stations. And we can be on more, but it does take time and it does take effort. And your assistance is appreciated. So thank you to Vidar and Gunneman 2002. Please do as they have done. Go to amp.freetalklive.com if you want to help us out. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
Nobody.
And Richie Rich.
Let's go back to the phones, to the fun. Jerome is listening in Charleston, South Carolina to WTMA. Hey, Jerome.
Hey, good evening.
Welcome.
I just was wondering, the next fool they hired to replace Mulvaney, is he going to be as big of a liar as Mulvaney is?
Who?
Because he sure stepped Mick Mulvaney, the president, I believe he's the press secretary.
How many secretaries has this guy had? Because I feel like he's gone through like several of them.
He's got like a secretarial pool.
Can we have like an apprentice show for press secretaries?
Isn't that what this is? The whole thing?
Well, they got to compete, right? Like you'd have like multiple
to see who
ones
gets the job.
To see who gets the job.
I see. So Jerome, I mean, who is this Mulvaney guy? Was he like more dishonest than the previous secretaries?
The last one I remember was like Huckabee, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's more dishonest because they're all, because Republicans, all they do is lie now.
Well, it's
And
true
they're the ones
for
always talking
Democrats,
about
too.
Democrats lie.
Politicians.
Well, I mean, isn't it true that they all lie? Like Democrats and Republicans?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. But hey, what
That's
about
true,
the
right?
Republicans' lies? What about the Republican lies?
Well, Republicans
they lie
do
all
lie.
the time.
Yeah, of course
You
they
were
do.
correct,
They're
sir.
politicians.
Yeah,
Anybody
They're
who
trying to
wants
hold-
to rule you lies, because if they told you the truth, that they wanted to control your life and suck off your income, you wouldn't let them do that. So they have to lie
is
to
it
be in
okay for
positions
them
of
to
power.
lie?
Why would
Is it
why would
okay
you
for them to lie?
why would you think it would be okay
No.
for them to lie?
The only
I don't
time
think it's-
Republicans tell the truth is
it
when they're
seems
telling you
to
the
be like
Democrats are
that.
lying.
Wait, who's saying that it's
seems to be
okay?
like that. Hey, I hear Republicans on the radio every day calling Democrats liars.
They are
And
also
when
telling the truth.
And when people like Mulvaney get caught in it, they have nothing to say. No, that's
Well,
my problem.
Yeah, okay. So Republicans lie and Democrats lie, and they're politicians, they're seeking power, they want to control your life. So you acknowledge that they both are lying scum, right?
Hey, look, I don't know about lying scum, but I know this. Trump berates the media on a constant basis about calling them liars.
Mm-hmm.
And then he parades this Mulvaney guy to the other day who says, oh, no, there's no quid pro quo. And then he turns around and says, get used to it. That's the way they do business. I've been listening to Trump say this for months now, that there's no quid pro quo.
Well, the quid pro quo is in reference to the Ukraine scandal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, you know, he may well have been he may well have been lying there. The interesting thing is that both sides seem to have a really incestuous relationship with the Ukraine. I mean, it turns out that not only was Joe Biden's son a director of a Ukrainian oil company, but also several other children of prominent Democrats.
Trump's children are benefiting from his last name and his connections like they do.
Oh, certainly they are.
Just like that.
How come it's wrong for Biden's son, but he never mentions his own? They never mention their
Because
own.
he's a hypocrite.
His own children.
Because he's a hypocrite.
Yeah, I mean, nobody
Oh, by the
ever
way,
calls out the things on their own side, or at least it's very very rare.
Yeah, only Ron
Usually
Paul.
Democrats call out Republicans. Republicans call out Democrats. And
Tulsi
but I'll
Gabbard
tell
and
you,
Ron Paul are two exceptions to that rule.
I
yeah.
need to mention something to you. I remember when Trump was campaigning, I distinctly remember him saying, "I will never lie to you." So how's that promise look now?
Hey, Jerome, thanks.
Did you call in expecting us to defend Trump by any chance?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Did you think we were going to defend Trump?
I didn't say you were going to defend
Okay.
him. I just said I distinctly remember him saying that.
Okay, it's
Along
hilarious.
Along with the stuff on the bus.
Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Jerome. I
like
also remember when George Bush, the first one, said that he was not
taxes?
going to raise taxes. Remember that?
Yeah. And the second George Bush saying he would have a humble foreign policy and then invaded like 12 countries.
Yeah, I mean,
they're all liars.
who believed
That's
it?
why we need to get rid of them. We need to, dump them in the harbor like overtaxed tea.
Oh, yeah. Remember when Bill Clinton said he never inhaled?
Yeah.
I mean,
And then
come
Al
on.
Gore never exhaled because
Yeah.
he didn't want the CO2 going out.
Who believes these people?
Yeah, just assume they're lying, act accordingly.
Yeah. Normally, you can tell a politician is lying if their lips are moving because
right.
nobody tells the truth.
We continue. Olivia is on the line in Arizona. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Olivia.
Hey, Ian. Hey, nobody. And hey, Richie Rich.
Hey there.
I have a couple of self-governance quotes that I wanted to share because I think they capture this whole situation perfectly. But I wanted to preface them by saying that I listened to an old version of your show that talked about how a man in Dunedin, Florida, was facing these ridiculously high fines for not cutting his grass. And actually, the first time I called...
That doesn't even have to be an old show. That's
yeah. Keeps
True.
happening.
The first time I started calling regularly, I called in with the same thing. Like, I got one of those notices, too, that I'd get a $500 a day fine if I didn't cut my grass, and I'm from Arizona. So, but I think it's interesting the way they justify that is to say that they're doing it because they want to maintain a nice community. But the instant then people start rebelling and saying, you know what, we don't want this kind of governance anymore, there is no amount of collateral damage to ruin that nice community that they will not engage in, or that they don't mind that collateral damage at all. Like, look at the Civil War, look at these protests around the world. They don't mind the whole place going up in flames as long as they get to control what's left.
Yep.
Right?
And when they're in control,
Absolutely right,
the grass
Olivia.
must be less than 3 inches.
I just think it's so interesting that the mask comes off as soon as a majority of people start voting with their actions, right? But the two quotes that I just wanted to share really quickly was, if no one among us is capable of governing himself, then who among us has the capacity to govern someone else? And ironically, that's a Ronald Reagan quote, but I think that honestly says everything. I mean, like, how do you argue with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is, a controlling person isn't trying to be helpful. Their grandiose ego lies and tells them that they're smarter than other people and therefore should be in charge.
Yeah.
And that was by Shannon Thomas. I'm assuming that there's some kind of psychotherapist or psychologist, but that's all I've got.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I mean, it reminds me of the one of the guys who moved here to New Hampshire, not Cantwell, but a guy who went the other direction, who went towards the liberal side of things, who originally was supposed to be a voluntarist or whatever when he first moved here. And he eventually ended up deciding that he thought he knew what was best, and he believed that there were people who needed to be forced to contribute money into a governmental system because otherwise they wouldn't do it. And so they needed to have somebody to force them to do what he considered to be the right thing. And I just found it so sad that people can think that way.
A lot of times libertarians get positioned in such a way because we're bombarded with the question, well, what would you do in this situation? Right? Everyone who opposes freedom and liberty wants us to automatically become a central planner in whatever issue they're having.
Well, you got to have answers. You got to have answers.
You got to have it. And the truth is we don't, right? But we're always thinking about the answers. And at some point we go, well, we've got the right one. we've got the right answer now. Now, how do we implement that right answer? And I think that's usually a tactical mistake.
Well, libertarians don't have all the answers, but we won't impose our non-answers on you by force.
Our answer is to leave people alone. Hey, thanks for the call tonight, Olivia. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. They're not being left alone in Hong Kong. We'll tell you about it coming up.
What if you could cut your heating bills this winter with your existing wood-burning fireplace and not spend thousands doing it? You can with Great Wall of Fire fireplace grates. Our U.S. patented made-in-America Wall of Fire grates increase fireplace efficiency, eliminate fireplace smoke problems, and come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. See our grates in action and get free shipping from walloffire.com or call 800-274-7364. Fireplace heat without fireplace smoke. walloffire.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Moments remain here, enough time for you. If you dial in right now, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. We're going to go to one of the... Oh, we were going to go, but the caller dropped out. I guess we won't get to hear from James tonight.
Oh,
after all.
what a shame.
I'm so disappointed.
Anarchapulco is coming up, and it's going to be here before you know it. I mean, we're at this point 4 months, I think, away from this event. Yeah, 4 months away. February 13th through the 16th, Anarchapulco, the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, being held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico during February. Great time to get out of the cold and into the sun and the beaches of a world-class resort. Ron Paul's coming back for the third time in a row at Anarchapulco. John McAfee, for the first time, I believe, ever at Anarchapulco. He's going to be there.
Coming out of hiding?
Yep. Freeway Rick Ross, Sherry Peel Jackson, Doug Casey, Jeff Berwick, Del Bigtree, Larkin Rose, James Corbett, Jeffrey Tucker, Benny Wills, Paul Rosenberg, Luke Radowski, Dale Brown, and many, many more speakers. I'm sure many have yet to be announced. But that alone is a pretty significant list, so you might want to go to anarchapulco.com and use promo code FTL if you want to save 10% off the price of your tickets. That's anarchapulco.com. I think there were about 2,000 people attending this event last year. So this is a big event with an international attendance that comes from across the planet. It's a really great one. I recommend it. Anarchapulco.com, code FTL, like Free Talk Live. As we continue here, we will take your calls and thoughts. Update from Hong Kong, which we promised earlier in the show tonight. The AP reporting that Hong Kong streets have descended into chaotic scenes following an unauthorized pro-democracy rally as protesters set up roadblocks and torched businesses, and police responded with tear gas and a water cannon. Protesters tossed firebombs and took their anger out on shops with mainland Chinese ties as they skirmished late into the evening with riot police, who unleashed numerous tear gas rounds on short notice, angering residents and passers-by. Police had beefed up security measures ahead of the rally, for which they refused to give permission, the latest chapter in the unrest that has disrupted life in the financial hub since early June.
Now, there's something really interesting about the political structure of Hong Kong that I learned recently that makes the Hong Kong damage to businesses different from Antifa breaking the windows in a Starbucks. And what that is the legislature in Hong Kong is comprised of people who are in some cases selected by corporations and in other cases selected by people. And if you look at the corporate picks who went into the Hong Kong legislatures, those have been mostly loyalist or pro-Chinese
to the state of China,
because the corporations want to be in bed with the Chinese government.
Sure.
The humans because corporations can't be thrown in re-education camps.
And they make a lot of money if they can sell in China.
Exactly. So the corporations of Hong Kong are a big part of what keeps Hong Kong as badly enslaved as it is.
In fact, I know you had a related story, Richie, about protesters smashing some banks, some Chinese banks.
They smashed the wrong bank and then apologized. That was part of that.
Did they fix what they smashed, or did they just say they were sorry?
So here's the headline.
Say it with a check if you're really sorry.
Yeah.
Hong Kong protesters leave apologetic graffiti after vandalizing wrong bank.
I'm not sure if that's really helpful.
So they smashed the wrong bank and then basically spray painted "I'm sorry, wrong bank."
Yeah. I mean, it's symbolic, but it's not particularly helpful.
That is true, but it's probably the most polite way of apologizing. Like Antifa's not spray painting inside of Starbucks. Whoops, like wrong, wrong coffee shop, and saying they're sorry.
True.
Yeah.
Some 24 people were hurt, treated at hospitals. Police didn't give an arrest figure. As the rally march set off, protest leaders carried a black banner that read, quote, 5 main demands, not one less, as they pressed their calls for police accountability and political rights in the semi-autonomous Chinese territory. And I don't think they say here what their demands are because, well, it's the mainstream media and that's what you should expect. But I would be curious to know what exactly those demands are.
Could I call that up on there?
Yeah, let's check that out if you get the chance. Meanwhile, let's go to Francine. She's in the Virgin Islands listening to WVWI Radio 1. Go ahead, Francine.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, me too. Go ahead.
I haven't heard from you guys in weeks.
We don't
Really?
usually
Have we-
call you.
Have we not been on
Yeah,
the have we not been on the air on Radio 1 there?
Yes. I don't know what, maybe technical difficulties or, the weather or whatever. I haven't heard from you all for a while, but I'm so happy to hear from you guys now.
Well, we're glad to have you back, Francine.
I love your show.
Well, beyond all the praise, which we do appreciate, we want to get to the topic. But I will say this.
Oh, yeah, Donald Trump.
Well, hold on. I will say this. If you appreciate the fact that we're on WVWI, call the station during the week, during business hours, and talk to them and let them know. Say, hey, thanks for running Free Talk Live. It's nice to give people a little bit of positive feedback.
I will.
All right. So, Donald Trump, go ahead.
Oh, my God.
That's about right.
Becky.
Does not anyone in the U.S., around the world, don't we realize the man has Alzheimer's?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does.
Is that what you think it is? Do you think it's Alzheimer's?
He's just forgetting? What is he what is the evidence for this that
At
you've
his
seen?
age, yes, he has Alzheimer's. He's very forgetful.
Mm-hmm.
He lies too much.
I don't. Is lying a symptom of Alzheimer's?
Well, nobody is very forgetful, but I don't think he has Alzheimer's.
True.
And then, he's playing the part too well. He is just so.
I always attribute it to big ego.
I think he's nuts.
You think he's nuts? Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I think he's nuts.
I think
I
it's-
don't think you
very
can become
disrespectful.
president.
He's very disrespectful.
That is
very
Hmm.
racist. And he doesn't care. He has advisors. He doesn't listen to them. And he's playing the part too well.
Well,
And he's embarrassing his party.
when you're saying he's
And
playing the part too
embarrassing the
well,
US.
like what part is he playing, and what would you expect from that part?
Very aggressive. With the United States, we are on top. We're in charge. We're trying to police the world.
well, now didn't he actually withdraw troops from was it Syria?
No, he moved them to
spoke of it.
Iraq.
Oh.
So he really
he
did
was
nothing
trying to
there.
do it. He tried to do it, but then he realized he was advised not to.
Well, he's the
Wow.
commander in chief, so if he wants to move troops, he can move troops.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the buck stops there when
You know, he-
anyone claiming to want troop withdrawals and says like we need to get troops out of somewhere. If you're
Yeah.
the president, if you're the commander in chief, you can't
You can
say
just do
that
it.
and not do it.
Yeah.
You have to
He-
do it because you're the one
right.
empowered to.
But at the same time, he's been advised, and his allies.
Yeah, but he also
Uh,
doesn't have to listen to
the-
his advisors.
Yeah, see,
He's the
I'd say
president.
that's the case where he listens too much to his advisors.
Like
because
John Bolton?
I think, yeah,
But he
like
fired him.
John Bolton.
He did fire him. Yeah.
Yeah, although then again, John Bolton, I think he may have been fired over this thing with the Ukraine because apparently
Okay.
he was very upset about that.
But then that's what I'm saying. Donald Trump, he doesn't listen to them, and then when he makes a decision and things go wrong, he blames somebody else, and people lose their job.
Yeah.
Or
I think that's
Well,
ego.
that's
over
typical
all
of
of it.
politicians. I mean, that doesn't make him any different than any other politician. I'm not defending Trump. I'm just saying he's no different than it. I mean, every other politician always blames the other president.
But he would do that as a businessman as well. Right?
Probably.
Like, it transcends being a politician.
He's just so cruel. He doesn't care who he hurts.
Well, I mean, again, that's typical of politicians. I think
Yeah.
that's true of Barack Obama. It's true of George W. Bush. Francine, great call. Thank you for sharing tonight.
Yeah, I want. I mean, if you look at aggression was one of the things that she said about Trump, and Trump actually hasn't invaded any new countries, although he hasn't ended any of the existing wars. Barack Obama invaded 4 new countries? So they're all awful, but
it's true.
He's probably a sociopath.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, they all are. Hey, great show. Thanks, guys, for being here. Check out Nobody over at electnobody.com. Check out Richie at anarchistexperience.com, and we'll see you tomorrow night. In the meantime, freetalklive.com. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio is great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,491, silver at $17.54, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,144. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a United States senator called for an end to facial recognition in airports due to lack of oversight on the technology. Meanwhile, facial recognition is spreading across the U.S. in schools everywhere, according to a report. Activist Post reports that Democratic Senator Ed Markey of Massachusetts brought up several issues with facial recognition technologies and warned against moving forward without sufficient protections for data being collected. During a hearing held by the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science and Transportation Subcommittee on Security on the use of biometric tech. Markey questioned TSA operations at Denver International Airport, using its Chief Operations Officer, Chris McLaughlin, to express his concerns about the program. Markey called on the TSA to halt deployment of facial recognition technology, given the lack of protections to American civil liberties, problems with misidentification and accuracy, which has failed numerous tests from local police to federal law enforcement. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. California residents trying to justify continuing to live in the Golden State might be updating their pro-con list by occasional candlelight for up to a decade, according to PG&E. On Friday, the state's largest utility announced that intentional power outages aimed at preventing wildfires may continue for up to a decade. Activist Post reports that CEO Bill Johnson later clarified during a meeting on Friday of the California Public Utilities Commission, saying, quote, "I didn't mean to say we'd be doing it on this scale for 10 years. I think they'll decrease in size and scope every year," end quote. Last week, nearly 800,000 Californians lost power after PG&E shut it off to lower the risk of wildfires caused by the company's equipment. The outage cost the city of San Jose at least $500,000, according to the mayor. According to PG&E, however, dealing with wildfires is the new abnormal within California. In May of this year, 18-year-old Angel Granados Diaz brought a loaded gun to his Oregon high school. At the time, the story didn't make national headlines because, unlike the stories of this nature that do, Granados Diaz did not shoot anyone. But now, due to a public records request by Coin 6 in Portland, the incident is making headlines for the very reason it did not back in May. Surveillance video obtained Friday by Coin 6 shows the exact moment when the Park Rose High School student was disarmed by football coach and security guard Keenan Lowe. Lowe was called to the Fine Arts Building after at least one student reported that Granados Diaz had been making suicidal statements. Lowe said running away wasn't an option. He analyzed the situation in what he called a fraction of a second. And as seen in the newly released surveillance video, not long after arriving, Lowe had in his hands the weapon and was able to pass it to another teacher. After handing off the gun, Lowe embraces Granados Diaz in a hug. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The latest edition of Lions of Liberty is next on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.fm. Get more at lionsofliberty.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? John Odermatt here, host of Felony Friday. And did you know that we have a weekly show dedicated to sports and gambling and telling ridiculous stories? It's not a public show. It's behind our paywall in the Lions of Liberty Pride. It's called Degenerate Gamblers. It is myself and Brian McWilliams and the elusive legal counsel of the Lions of Liberty, Rico. And every week on Degenerate Gamblers, we review what's going on in college football, pro football. Maybe we talk a little bit of playoff baseball, not much though. But more importantly, we tell ridiculous stories from our daily lives and from our past. So in order to get access to that, you got to join the Lions of Liberty Pride. You can go to patreon.com/Lions of Liberty to get access.
Welcome to Felony Friday, a presentation of the Lions of Liberty podcast. Here is your host, John Odermatt.
Felons, friends, and freedom lovers, welcome back to another edition of Felony Friday, a weekly show right here on the Lions of Liberty podcast. If this is your first time listening to Felony Friday, shame on you. What took you so long? This is the 198th episode. You got a lot to catch up on. But thank you. If this is your first time, thank you for tuning in. Please, whoever sent you here, whoever sent you this link, please thank them, because we got a great show for you today. Got an awesome guest who is going to share her story of spending time in prison, the struggle that she went through, really in the lead up to prison, and then sort of a rebirth and a new outlook on life while she was in prison, and now after her time in prison, just doing some incredible things. So I'll introduce my guest in just a minute. Before I do that, just want to remind you that Felony Friday, one of 3 shows on Lions of Liberty. The other 2 is our Monday show hosted by Mark Clare. It's an interview show that focuses on libertarian philosophy, interviews leaders in the movement. Wednesday, we have Electric Liberty Land hosted by Brian McWilliams. It's your weekly shot of culture, comedy, and liberty. Of course, Friday, today, Felony Friday, the best show on Lions of Liberty. But I think Mark and Brian would agree that this is the most important show. In fact, they say that all the time because it's about the criminal justice system, and there's nothing more important than the individual. And I think more now than ever, with criminal justice reform, it's really one of the only policies, one of the only segments out there where we have a unified front, a lot of buy-in from people on the left, right, center, progressive, conservative, libertarian, moderate, whatever. People all agree the criminal justice system is broken and want to reform it. So you can get all 3 of our shows by subscribing anywhere you get podcasts. We're on all the apps: Apple, Stitcher, Overcast, TuneIn, Spotify. We're on everything. Just go to those, subscribe. We really do appreciate us. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review to help us out. Do appreciate that. Today's episode is 198, like I said, which means the show notes page can be found at Lions of